come from all over Southern California, Laker fans, famous and not so famous, to fill the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles tonight. It's Game 2 in the best-of-7 first-round Western Conference playoff series as the Houston Rockets take on the Los Angeles Lakers. And good evening, everyone, with Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan. Great to have you with us tonight. There is certainly a buzz in the air for Game 2, LA and Houston. Lakers won Game 1 by a single point with not their A game being shown.
Well, it sure wasn't pretty, Kevin, and their offense really sputtered miserably. And it's amazing when you look at the numbers of the Fab Four, how they won the game at all. I mean, Kobe Bryant was 3 for 18 in the second half, 1 for 11 in the fourth quarter. Shaq only had 1 field goal to put back on the air ball that actually won the game. Karl Malone 2 field goals, and Gary Payton did not score in the second half. So how do you win a game when your stars struggle? Well, you win it with defense, and this is what the Lakers were able to do. Shaq really closed down hard on Yao Ming, really was physical with him, took him out of the game, only 4 of 11, not a factor. 22 turnovers by the Rockets, 11 steals by the Lakers. Here, great defense late, forcing the Rockets to use their last timeout. And then the last play of the game, Stevie Francis, good penetration. Kobe helps and then gets back and gets a hand in the face of Jimmy Jackson to distract the shot. So the defense really was able to win the game for them when their offense sputtered miserably.
So, Doug, what kind of adjustments do you expect from Houston tonight?
Well, you know, we talked to Jeff Van Gundy before the game. He knows that they've got to get Yao Ming involved in their offense. It's a guy, they're an inside-outside team that creates shots for the other guys. First 3 games against the Lakers, very dominant at 27 points a game. The last 2, Shaq has really taken the challenge. 3 of 15 in one of the games, 4-11 in the first playoff game. So he has got to be involved, got to get the ball early, and they got to make some shots. When they shoot 45% or better, they're 30-10. And as good as their defense is, Kevin, if they don't get to 90, then they only win 15 out of 42 times. They lose 27 of those games. So got to find a way to manufacture some offense. Jeff Van Gundy told us we got to get the ball to the big guy early, give him a chance to touch it, make some things happen, and he's got to be aggressive. And if he does that, he'll free up the outside shooting. 3-point shooting vital for the Rockets. They were only 2 for 12 in Game 1.
The most tantalizing matchup in the first round continues. It has Shaquille O'Neal and Yao Ming meeting next on TNT. Dusk in Los Angeles, the Staples Center in downtown LA with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan. Another capacity crowd to watch the LA Lakers. Time now for our look at McDonald's starting lineups with Kelvin Cato, Jimmy Jackson, along with Yao Ming, Steve Francis, and Cuttino Mobley. Francis and Mobley combined for 14 turnovers in Game 1. Rick Fox, Karl Malone, Shaquille O'Neal with 20 points and 17 rebounds in Game 1 with Kobe Bryant and Gary Payton. And while Shaq remains the centerpiece of this team, Doug, Phil Jackson told us before the game tonight that now the reins of this team are firmly in the grasp of Kobe Bryant.
Well, he's talked to us about, you know, he wants Kobe to be the quarterback of this team and be able to get himself involved in the offense, know when to look for his shot, and at the same time get other guys involved. You know, Gary Payton, this is a new offense to him, so Kobe has been very familiar with this. He wants him to quarterback this team. He said Michael Jordan's formula when he was with Chicago is, you know, I can get 6 points in the first 3 quarters. That's 18. I'm capable of getting 12, 14, or whatever you need in the fourth period. And I think he'd like to see Kobe do that. Be the guy to get everybody involved, but don't wait too long to look for his shot. He only took 1 shot in the first half, Kevin, of Game 1. That's too long. He's got to look sooner than that.
Our officials tonight, Bernie Fryer, Joe DeRosa, and Benny Adams. And here's Yao Ming, and they want to get the ball to him early, right there. But Shaq has a say and alters 2 of his shots, and the Lakers will get it for the first time.
He can't be discouraged. He's got to keep going at Shaquille O'Neal.
The mindset of Kobe Bryant, I would think, important tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about how important it is for him to get his team involved, pick and choose when he looks for his shots, pass the ball out of double teams, all the things he did in Game 1.
And this is Karl Malone.
Yeah, he shot the ball horribly in the first game, 3 of 14. They really the Rockets forced him to look for some shots, and he struggled 1 of 9 in the first half. And if he's making the shot, it will make things a lot easier for the Lakers.
And Steve Francis flipping it out to Cuttino Mobley, tapped out of bounds. Shot clock at 15 seconds. What kind of pace do you think the Rockets want to play at tonight?
Well, I think they'd like to look for early offense if they can. Quick screen rolls, quick post-ups. Get into the clock early, look for the shot if it's there. If not, make sure you execute and get the ball inside your big fella.
And they go right there to Kelvin Cato out of Iowa State. And Karl Malone, the 40-year-old power forward for the Lakers, comes down with it. Here's Kobe. There's Yao with a flash of defense around the perimeter.
Well, it's tough for him to show out on those screen rolls. He just does not have the quickness of foot to do that. So the Lakers will get him involved in a lot of those.
Shaq now pushed down a little bit too far. And Bryant with Jackson right there, and a 3 from Kobe. Francis with the rebound. Houston comes in having lost 7 of their last 9 games as Yao Ming corkscrews on Shaq, and that is a good sign for the Rockets.
Well, look how deep he caught the ball. If he can catch it in there, he can turn and get that little shot off. Shaq has been doing a great job the last 2 games, pushing him out on the floor, making it much more difficult.
Lakers have won 15 of their last 18 games, and Kobe Bryant tried to take it inside with a foul called on Houston. Goes on Kelvin Cato for the first time.
First couple plays of the game, you see Yao going across the middle. Shaq meets it and actually gets 2 blocks. But look how deep he is. Look where his foot is in the restricted area when he catches it and gets that little jump hook. You can't be discouraged. You've got to keep going at Shaq. You've got to try to wear him down. You got to hope that if he's going to play 45 minutes, that fatigue will be a factor late in the game, Kevin.
Now here's Kobe Bryant at the free throw line as you take a look at Shaq and Kobe from the stripe, 85%. You wonder what the emotion of some of his teammates are going into this series. Is this the last time they're going to play with Kobe in the postseason? Is he dedicated for the long haul? I mean, it's got to be a very, very tough thing to put your finger on.
I think what their job is, the task at hand right now is to win this series and then move forward and then worry what happens later. You can't start thinking about what's going to be ahead. You can only take care of what's now.
So not a distraction.
Absolutely not. This team is used to distraction. You see the nice little post up by Mobley. Phil Jackson talked that he felt like that they were going to try to take Kobe in the post on occasion tonight. Kobe's going to have to meet that challenge.
Lakers, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, Pacific Division champions. Bryant, count it for 2.
Well, you can already see Kobe is much more involved. He took 1 shot in the first half of game 1. That was to beat the shot clock. This is his 3rd attempt. What a great opportunity here for him now to finish the 3-point play. See, I love greatness. Greatness is he wasn't happy with getting the foul, gathered himself, concentrated, and got the opportunity now for the 3-point play. This is a terrific play by Kobe Bryant. He's off and running. He's getting on that baseline, and that's where the Lakers like him, and the Rockets, Jeff Van Gundy says we must keep him off that baseline. We can't guard him down there.
So Jim Jackson picks up the foul. Kobe Bryant in the game is put in 5. And here's Steve Francis with the screen from Yao, and then the pitch down low, and Shaq is there to meet him. And deflects his shot once again, and here comes Kobe on the fly.
He's getting good shots, though, Kevin. That's another point-blank shot. He just missed it.
So keep going to him.
Keep going.
It's knocked out of bounds.
Kevin, for them to win, he's got to get 19 or more points tonight. That's sort of the barometer for this team. In the wins, he averages over 19. In the losses, he averages 15. So he is a big part because without him, they struggle to score.
You're talking about Yao, who is starting 1 of 4.
Absolutely. And you know what? If he misses the next 4, he's got to keep shooting.
Rockets have started 2 of 6 from the field. Nice knock away by Payton, the former defensive player of the year. And Cato can't get it.
Got to get 2 hands on that, Kevin, and go up and dunk it. He's had 2 dunk opportunities and missed them both, trying to finesse the ball.
Lakers have started 2 of 3. A 3. Payton can't get it. Shaq is there to gobble it up. Malone comes down hard. He's playing with the bad right ankle and grimaces as he comes the other way. And here's Jim Jackson, who had 12 rebounds in game 1. And Yao Ming. They're outside. Shaq defending him well again. Kobe Bryant coming off his worst shooting season as a starter. Bryant again across the lane. And he's looking to do a lot.
Well, they're trying to get a lot of screen rolls with Karl Malone and with Kobe. That was the matchup when Jeff Van Gundy was talking before the game. In early offense, The screen roll, Kobe goes away from the screen and now just goes in powerfully to the basket. Cato is slow getting there. And what you see right now, Kobe is putting the pressure on the defense. He's already gotten to the free throw line. This will be his 4th and 5th attempts already in the first period at the line.
Kelvin Cato just picked up his 2nd personal foul as Kobe Bryant gets it. You take a look at Jeff Van Gundy. If there is any coach that knows this triangle offense that Phil Jackson uses for Los Angeles, it's Jeff Van Gundy, who while coaching the New York Knicks saw it with Jackson and Jordan in Chicago.
Well, he knows all the intricacies of it. The difference is the personnel. In Chicago, there was no Shaquille O'Neal. It was Michael Jordan getting down to that post. You had Scottie Pippen. Now you've got Kobe on the perimeter and Shaq. So its principles are the same. Trigger points are a lot the same, but the personnel makes this a different attack than what Chicago had.
Rick Fox just picked up his 1st foul in a game that has seen the Lakers lead by 5. Houston has not led. You take a look at Fox, who had some major off-season surgery and comes back mid-season. Certainly gives this team a nice rounded starting 5.
Probably their most physical defender on the perimeter.
Jimmy Jackson, who has played more minutes this year than in any of the previous 11 years in his NBA career.
James Posey was the forward here last year, small forward. He leaves to go to Memphis. Where would Houston be without Jimmy Jackson?
Kobe Bryant.
See the lack of foot speed there by Yao Ming. His intentions were good. He was not quick enough to get that baseline. And Kobe reminds me so much of Michael Jordan. You give him an inch on that baseline, and he's a magician down there.
Yao again doubled. Now Bryant will chase Mobley, and Yao with Shaquille again right there, but picking up the foul for the Los Angeles Lakers, and O'Neal picks up number 1.
See, this is vital because I think one of the keys is going to be which big man gets his first or second foul the quickest, because then it changes the personality of the game. And the more touches that Yao Ming gets there, the greater opportunity. Secondly, Kevin, this guy's an 82% free throw shooter. I mean, the last 2 games against the Lakers, he has not attempted a free throw in one of the games and only 2 in the other. Manufacture points by getting to the line.
And Doug, I got to tell you, some of the comments coming into this series and after game 1 from Yao and from the Rockets about Yao's play late in the season and in game 1 about being fatigued, being exhausted, somewhat surprised me.
Well, you know what? He's a young player still. I think we forget that. When you look out there, you see this big man. He's still young. He's learning. He's growing. And he's getting better and better every game.
Kobe Bryant has scored 9 of LA's 11 points. Gary Payton, Karl Malone, a poor shooting game 1. Knocks it in over Cato, who is playing with 2 fouls.
Well, you don't score 30,000 plus points in this league and be the 2nd leading scorer in the NBA by backing away from the shot. So that first game is out of his mind already. He's hit 2 big shots. He's in a good rhythm.
He was 3 of 14 in game 1. Jimmy Jackson knocks in another, and Jackson from the floor has gone 2 of 2. He leads the Rockets with 4. 9 from Bryant, leads all scorers in the game.
But Kobe's going at that post early and often.
Mobley. And Gary Payton.
And Gary Payton was off to a great start the other night. Had 11 points in the first half. No field goals in the second half. Actually tweaked his back and missed 8.5 minutes of the 4th period before he came back in for the finish.
Now with screen on Fox, and now the switch with Shaq on Jackson for 2. His first miss. Rebound by Malone. Shaq at the other end in a handcuff, and Cato has just picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Now that's huge because Kelvin Cato does a nice job defensively. He can run the floor and get back quickly with Shaq when Yao Ming struggles to get back down the floor. This is a nice play by Gary Payton, recognizing Jimmy Jackson is back and there's no way he can defend against Shaquille O'Neal. And as a big man, Kevin, you're taught to run on that break, run right to the front of the rim, turn and post. And your first look is right down the gut of the lane. You think of the big men. Robert Parrish used to do a great job for Boston running to the front of the rim. Olajuwon, Shaq does it. Patrick Ewing used to do it. Get down to the front of that basket.
And Cato is gone with the 3 fouls. What do they get with Maurice Taylor, who comes in the game for the first time?
They lose defense and rebounding, and they gain offense. He, to me, is their best forward in terms of putting up points. He can score around the basket. He had 3 quick fouls the other night in the game, which really took him out of the game. He ended up the game, Kevin, with 11 points, but did not play much in the first half because of 3 quick fouls. But he can score, and they'll go to him.
No lead changes or ties. Francis, what a pass to Yao Ming inside by Shaq. Count it! for 2 and a foul.
Now, is that on Payton or Shaq? Or who's that foul going to be on? If it's Shaq, it's his second, and that changes the game.
It goes on Shaquille O'Neal, and that is the second on him, and Yao yet to get a foul, and that is a story.
That's why you've got to go inside to the big guy. You got to get more touches, and if you miss 6 or 8 shots, you got to keep coming. Kevin, the great over-the-shoulder pass. Yao Ming does not back away. He's aggressive. He gets the foul, the opportunity for the three-point play, and Shaq has 2 fouls.
From Los Angeles tonight, the 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the NBA playoffs and finals. Southwest. By Miller. Vote Miller for president of beers. Good call. By Nissan, who invite you to shift the way you move through the world. Nissan. And by Van Helsing. On May 7th, adventure lives forever. Shaq is playing with a couple fouls as we swing it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin and Doug. And you know what? To say that Jeff Van Gundy was a little upset about Phil Jackson's comments after Game 1 would be an understatement. Phil Jackson said that Game 1 turned into a mud wrestling contest. I don't think that's what the teams really want. Maybe Houston wants it. And Jeff addressed the media before the game. He said, look, just look at the Lakers. You got Shaq, the most physically dominating player in the league. Karl Malone versus Kelvin Cato. Not even a match. Malone is much more physical. Kobe Bryant can't be contained physically, and there's a reason why they call Gary Payton the glove. I felt like we had 3 officials with great integrity. It will be interesting tonight to see how high the league jumps after Phil's comments. All the verbal sparring has begun.
Is this the Knicks and the Bulls? This reminds me of the Knicks and the Bulls. We've seen this before, Cheryl.
Yao Ming now has 6 points to lead Houston, 9 points for Kobe Bryant. Lakers have brought in Medvedenko for the first time. Shaq is playing with a couple fouls and now is on the bench. Here's Karl Malone with the shot clock showing 6 and Taylor in his face. Now they double Bryant and the shot clock at 2, and Medvedenko gets it off just before the buzzer, and a rebound by Mobley. And in the game tonight, it's -4 rebounding for the Rockets.
And importantly, the Rockets have not turned the ball over yet. The other night they got off to a horrible start. They had like 6 first-quarter turnovers. Tonight, none.
Kelvin Cato on the Rocket bench with 3 fouls. So Maurice Taylor is in, and the ex-Clipper missing a shot there.
Got to throw the ball inside to Yao Ming. You had Medvedenko on him. You got to take advantage of that mismatch while Shaq is out of the game.
Payton to Rick Fox.
Reluctant shooter. He's never gotten back his legs since being hurt. And one thing he used to really be able to do is make those open threes, not even looking for a shot.
Bryant with Jackson, and now Yao, and now Francis, triple teamed in a torture chamber. And here comes Jimmy Jackson the other way with under 5 to play in the first quarter.
Throw that ball inside. There's the matchup you got to go to. That's good, smart basketball. You should not look for an outside shot now unless Yao Ming touches the ball, make the Lakers react, and kick the ball outside.
And you think his fingerprints have got to be all over this game.
Absolutely, and they are right now. He's playing the way we've seen him play all year. He comes over to get the block. It's goaltending. You can see his confidence, Kevin. He's starting to get back into this game. The last couple games against the Lakers, Shaq took him out. Rick Fox in the game, you just go deep, take that ball, catch it, and go up strong. That's a nice play. Go right back inside to him once again.
Neither team has hit a 3-point shot. Jackson, Taylor, Francis, Yao Ming, and Mobley out there for the Rockets, and a missed wide open play for Taylor. And a Laker foul inside called on Medvedenko for the first time.
You know, the importance of Shaq being out of the game, first of all, you lose any kind of shot blocking and interior defense. Now, if you have to help, you open up threes. You've got Mo Taylor in the game who can score, so that now enables them to get some offense from Shaq from Yao Ming and Mo Taylor. But more importantly, what it does now is it puts a lot of onus on Kobe trying to look for his own shot now. So if I'm the Rockets, I load up on him right now and really make him pass the ball with Shaq on the bench.
Doug, if I'm taking a look at the numbers for the Rockets so far, and they're down by 3, it's the 5 assists and not a single turnover yet.
No question. They had 22 turnovers in game 1. Kevin, 15 of them were in the first half, only 7 in the second half, so they did calm down. So we're seeing some residual effect of that here tonight early.
Lakers 4 assists and 1 turnover, and here's Gary Payton. Brian Fox, Medvedenko, and Malone, the Laker 5. 4 to play in the first quarter. Karl Malone trying to concoct something as he takes it in. And a foul called on the interior of that defense, and Maurice Taylor will pick up his first for Houston.
Well, this really got the Rockets off to a slow start in game one. You see turnovers that really just were thrown out of bounds. Cuttino Mobley had 7 turnovers, he and Francis both. See passes nowhere near the target, and this has been a problem all year for Houston. It's nothing new. They are second in the league in turnovers at almost 17 a game. But a lot of the unforced jittery kind, I thought that where they were playing a little bit out of sync in that first half. They were much better in the second half. And, you know, we talk so much about Yao Ming. This is big for Steve Francis, too. This is his first playoff series. His nickname is Stevie Franchise. As they're taking a look on where they're going with this team, you know, they know that Yao's the centerpiece of their team inside. Is this guy who's going to be on the perimeter when they are a team that they think that they can be later on and maybe challenge for championships. So it's a big time for Steve Francis as well as Yao Ming.
So Karl Malone knocks in the first. Karl Malone thought to be indestructible until this year when he missed 39 games. First time he had ever experienced anything close to that in his long 18-year career.
Well, the one was a freak injury. He shot the jump shot. Scott Williams, who was playing for Phoenix at the time, fell into his leg. They didn't think it was serious, and then they found out later it was a tear of the ligament. He ended up missing 40 games. Then he twists an ankle, and it seems like once you get dinged up, it's hard to ever get healthy, Kevin.
Jackson, Yao Ming with 8 points. Malone against him. Fox going to help. Nice rotation, Francis. And Calvin Delaney slices. Taylor comes up with it, and a good fake to get 2.
Great hands and a nice play there by Steve Francis. But you can see the double teaming. It creates driving lanes. That's why you've got to keep going inside to Yao Ming. Well, they are making Kobe work so hard in those screen rolls.
Fox spoon feeds Medvedenko. And Fox with the offensive rebound and snared in by Gary Payton. Medvedenko for 2.
He's not bashful now.
No.
He's taken about 4 shots since he's been in. So you can see when he comes off the bench, he's looking for that offense early.
Rockets shooting 47% from the field. Taylor has come off the bench for 3 points. Cato is on the bench with 3 fouls. Yao against Medvedenko.
See, I love the patience of the Rockets there. You know, they took their time, and again, with Shaq out of the game, you've got to take advantage inside. You've got to get to the free throw line again. Yao Ming is a good free throw shooter, excellent patience, and the Rockets are playing a very smart game here to get started.
You're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT.
NBA playoffs on TNT. Who will take center stage in the Battle of Broadway? Can Dallas even the series in a Game 2 showdown? 40 games in 40 nights. Knicks, Nets, Mavericks, Kings, tomorrow night.
Win or go home.
The key to this season, the franchise player for the Houston Rockets, is Yao Ming in his second NBA season.
Well, I like the fact that he started out the game aggressively. Shaq blocked 2 shots early, actually maybe got a piece of that one. But he stayed with it, and he got the ball deep inside, makes a nice little jump hook. See the low post position here with Shaq out of the game with fouls. You go inside, you get the score. So discouraged early, hung in there, kept attacking, and this is important for them. I talked about, you know, in their wins, he averages almost 20 points a game. You see tonight he already has 8 points. More importantly, he's going to get to the free throw line here for the 4th and 5th time. So I like what they're doing here with Shaq in foul trouble.
Let's look at the landscape of this series. Right now, the Rockets are down 1 game tonight. This is game 2. They're off 3 days after tonight, and then they play Friday. That's a lot of rest time for the Lakers. That puts a lot of importance on tonight in terms of momentum and just trying to configure yourself for the rest of this first-round series.
Well, if the Rockets want to win this series, I think they have to win tonight because they're not going to beat the Lakers 4 out of 5 games, and chances are the Lakers are going to win 1 game in Houston, which means that the Rockets are probably going to have to win 2 games here to win this series. So tonight is a game you have to get the breakthrough. You have to make this series 1-1 going home and give yourselves a chance. Now, they're going to compete in the series. But if they want to win the series, I think they have to win tonight.
Lakers 43% from the field. Shaq is still on the bench with 3 fouls, and Gary Payton pulls the trigger. Houston is on a 10-4 run with Francis. Angling in, Fox was there to meet him. Great steal. That's the first turnover by the Rockets, and Payton is the one to get it. Kobe Bryant with 9, Yao with the game-high 10. Malone. Contact, no call. Medvedenko chases it down. A fresh 24-second shot clock. Karl Malone.
Shades of Utah. Drive that ball in there, create the contact, the nice little soft touch over Yao Ming in the lane, so you can see Karl Malone very aggressive with Shaq on the bench with fouls.
3 ties. Lakers have led the entire way, getting up by as many as 6 points. Mobley.
So tough on that screen roll because Yao Ming is very good rolling out, shooting the ball. The big man has to get up and get to Mobley, and very slow that time getting to the rotation.
There's a foul, and that's on Karl Malone for the first time. Malone picks it up in a tied 21-21 game.
Well, this is the screen that he used to set in Utah all the time. You saw John Stockton would make that rub cut off the little post action. This time, Karl sort of reaches that shoulder out and knocks off the Rocket defender to get the foul.
Rocket 6 assists and 8 made field goals. Francis in this game has not scored. Rebound Medvedenko. Francis trying to save it, and Karl Malone has it with about 23 to play in the first.
Well, great move by Francis, just couldn't finish.
Bryant needing a double every time he touches the ball.
Well, that's smart because with Shaq out, you got to make him pass it.
Across the lane, Gary Payton has now gone for 6 points, 3 of 5 with a couple of assists.
Kevin, let me talk a little bit now that the dilemma Jeff Van Gundy's going to be in. He's going to have to rest Yao Ming. Shaq's going to come back in. So when he rests Yao Ming, who's going to guard Shaq? So this is work for the Rockets right now, but the Lakers still lead with Shaq being down.
Here's Steve Francis with the dance. Maurice Taylor. And the Rockets -4 so far in rebounding in the game. Now, Trevor.
You know, pull the chair routine. Yao Ming did not see that over in China. He did not see a lot of Rick Mahorn when he grew up playing, but Rick Mahorn was the master of this. Just pull the chair. You think you're going to get contact, there's nothing there. What a helpless feeling as you fall into a travel.
Like the Rockets, the Lakers, 6 assists and 8 field goals made as Yao is out. Kelvin Cato is on the bench with 3 early fouls, and Clarence Weatherspoon comes in for the first time for Houston.
I think the Lakers have to be very happy right now. They've weathered Shaq's fouls. They're in great position here to win the first period.
No fouls to give either way. Rick Fox for 3. Taylor the rebound.
They love this high screen roll action here. Steve Francis in the middle of the floor. Probably Malone, or excuse me, Mo Taylor will probably come up to set the screen here. Weatherspoon.
Francis yet to score, and that is a Gary Payton foul.
The cardinal rule of defense is don't foul a jump shooter. And when you see a shot fall that short, chances are he got hit on the elbow. Watch the elbow here. It's hard to see from that angle, but let's take a look here. See if he hits him on the elbow. Right there.
Yep.
And when you get hit on the elbow, that shot goes all different directions. I've talked, Kevin, many times about small men do that to big guys all the time. They get posted, and the big guy starts to shoot. You just tap him on the elbow, and that shot flies in all different directions, but definitely a foul.
And Francis still can't find his first basket tonight. A disgruntled Gary Payton get an all-access look at the NBA playoffs. Tune into the NBA TV playoff show called Destination Finals every weeknight at 6 o'clock, only on NBA TV. Fox is out. Derek Fisher has come in, a one-time starter who is coming off the bench and still trying to adapt to the new role.
I still think he's going to be vital for this team in the playoffs to be successful. He is such an important part of their team, a great leader, terrific player.
Payton trying to beat the buzzer. And the first half, the first quarter has come to a close. Karl Malone with 8 points, 9 from Kobe Bryant. The Lakers led by 6 with 6.5 to play in the first. Rockets close out the first quarter on a 13-8 run. The 7th-seeded Rockets, the 2nd-seeded Lakers. These are the playoffs on TNT. Here in Los Angeles, let's take a look at our Gatorade X Factor of the game.
Well, I felt like Maurice Taylor coming off the bench was going to be vital for Houston because he can score. You saw what he did in the First game, 11 points, got in foul trouble in the first half, so his minutes were limited. Karl Malone, we know of his struggles, but Karl Malone has gotten off to a great start tonight. He's been very active, hit a couple jumpers, hit a floater in the lane. Steve Francis with good dribble penetration there. Excellent hands by Mo Taylor. He's 1 of 3 as he's gotten started tonight. But as Yao Ming sits down, they'll go more to him. But a good start for Karl Malone tonight. 3 of 4, he has 8 points.
And we pick up the start of the second quarter with Devin George in the game for the first time. Medvedenko, Kobe Bryant, Shaq back in with a couple fouls as he goes inside on Weatherspoon. Derek Fisher is the 5th Laker. And for the Houston Rockets, it remains Mobley, Jackson, and Francis. Weatherspoon and Maurice Taylor is in as Mobley glides in off the baseline.
Well, they call him Cat for one reason, because he is Cat quick. And that was a brilliant move to the basket. And he loves that challenge of playing against Kobe Bryant. These guys really go at one another.
Houston has their first lead of the game. They trailed by as many as 6 in the first quarter. We've had 1 lead change and 4 ties. And a nice outside shot by Medvedenko.
Interesting matchups now, Kevin. It's a big part of the playoffs, but Clarence Weatherspoon now playing against Shaquille O'Neal, giving away about 8 inches in size, so he's going to need some help.
Steve Francis is 0 of 1 with a point and 5 assists. And here comes Cuttino Mobley and jousting with Kobe Bryant, who picks up the foul after 1 quarter. What have you seen from Kobe Bryant?
Well, Kobe has gotten off to an excellent start here. He's gotten to the line 5 times, but Mobley is a left-hand player. That time he goes to his right and kisses the ball off the glass. They come back to him the next possession. He posts, and he's going to get a couple free throws. And Kevin, what you do is when you're playing against the Lakers, you cannot let Kobe or Shaq rest on defense. You've got to make them work, and the Rockets can do that. Mobley can make Kobe work, and Yao Ming can make Shaq work. So you make these guys use up energy and hope that in the 4th quarter that you can find a way to win a close game. The other night they weren't able to do there, but they had the great chance.
Kobe had the 9 points, all coming in the first 4:16 of the game. And his mindset, as you pointed out early, is key, and he's going to have the reins in his hand the entire game.
I think you're going to see the Lakers really try to go to Shaq with this matchup here. Get the ball inside.
The much smaller Weatherspoon on Shaquille O'Neal. Devin George, little 2-man game with Shaq, and outside, it's Derek Fisher. Rebound by Steve Francis. Fisher 1 of 2 in game 1 from the floor. Up, held it, dribbling violation, palmed the ball. That's the 3rd Houston Rocket turnover, and that is the one thing that Jeff Van Gundy said they cannot weather. They cannot weather their own turnover.
Well, especially on the road. I mean, this is going to be a close game if the Rockets are going to win it. You don't want unforced errors. It's like tennis. You add up unforced error. That was an unforced error.
Kobe Bryant fouled by Cuttino Mobley. Any feel on the pace of the game so far?
I think it's got a good rhythm. I think both teams are into a nice flow. This is 2 very good defensive teams. When the Lakers lock in, they're a good defensive team. I've always felt like when you play against this Laker team, they're not a team that has great speed. So you've got to get out in the open court and attack them before they can get back defensively. And we had a long talk with Phil Jackson before the game about this team, and I think he feels very good about this team. They're still finding themselves. You see Karl Malone and Gary Payton. This is a team that really only played about 40 games together in the regular season. I think they were 31-9 in those games. So they had a lot of success. They just don't have a lot of experience together.
Kobe Bryant now has a game-high 11 points, and 10 points from Yao Ming leads the Houston Rockets. Yao without a single foul. Shaq has 2 fouls so far. And Shaquille O'Neal has not scored in the 8 minutes he's played in this game.
See, I think this is one of the Lakers' better defensive teams they have on with Fisher, Kobe, and Devin George on the perimeter.
Lakers have beaten Houston 3 consecutive games going back to the regular season. A rebound by Shaq, who grabs his 3rd, and here comes Kobe Bryant. And Fisher with an athletic catch, and Francis to meet him, and a pass off of Francis.
I don't know where Derek Fisher was throwing that. He must have been throwing an alley-oop to Shaq, but it hit the corner of the board, and very fortunately, as Stevie Francis went over to try to get the ball, it went off his back. So the Lakers will maintain possession and maintain a 2-point lead as Yao Ming continues to get a rest with Shaq on the floor. So these are good minutes that Jeff Van Gundy's buying for Yao Ming.
Devin George from Division III Augsburg in Minneapolis inbounds. Here's Medvedenko and Kobe Bryant.
Oh, what a shot. Huh.
The Los Angeles Lakers are shooting 42%, and here come the Rockets shooting 45% for the game. Jackson and George. Clarence Weatherspoon, who began his career with the 76ers, and here's the former first-round pick by the Lakers, Derek Fisher, the other way out of Arkansas Little Rock. Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal has the #1 field goal percentage this season in the NBA.
Well, he shoots a lot of high percentage shots. That actually was a little bit more difficult shot. Jeff Van Gundy with a nice timeout here. When you're on the road, you got to control the game with your timeouts. You get Kobe down in the post, a little jackknife shot off the glass that gives the Lakers a 4-point lead, and then Shaq comes back. He recognizes the size advantage over Weatherspoon. He takes his time, kisses it off the glass. We'll see if Yao Ming comes back after this timeout.
Now tonight's Bud Light around the NBA. Home teams 8-0 in game ones. The top seeds prevailing. Ron Artest, the Pacer forward, suspended for game 2 of Indiana's first-round playoff series with Boston. He left the bench during an altercation Saturday. And what about Sam Cassell tying a career high with 40 points, and Kevin Garnett, the big ticket, with 30 points and 20 boards as the top seed Timberwolves beat Denver last night by 14. In game 1 here, it was a 72-71 Los Angeles Laker win with poor shooting on the part of both teams. Mark Jackson and Yao Ming in for the Rockets. A miss by Jackson, who is joined by Taylor, and that is the 5 with Mobley out there for the Houston Rockets. That was the first 3 attempted by Houston tonight.
And this is a team that lives on those three-pointers. It's very important in their attack. They shoot about 17 a game, so you can see how important it is.
Kobe Bryant with a game-high 13. Try to take it in. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And a 6-point Laker lead, equaling their biggest lead tonight.
And Yao Ming did come back in the game after the timeout. Jeff Van Gundy realizing this lead, building on him, up 6. You don't want to dig yourself too big a hole. You don't score that many points.
Medvedenko, who saw a lot of time early in the season when Shaq was out, gaining confidence. And he's been a nice addition off the bench for this team over the last couple of years.
Well, the Lakers like him because he can score and he really knows how to play.
Lakers now have their biggest lead of the game. Yao Ming with 10 and 1 rebound.
Got to get back inside again. Shaq has 2 fouls. Keep the pressure on.
Mobley double covered. Medvedenko with the rebound. Houston has not hit a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Lakers are +5 in rebounding so far. Kobe. Devin George. Rebound by Shaq, and he's got 4 boards tonight. Medvedenko. Here's Derek Fisher. When they move the ball, the Lakers are their most effective, and that's what we've seen in a lot of possessions tonight.
Well, they have 9 assists on 11 field goals. I've always felt like 23 or more assists for the Lakers is usually a barometer of victory.
39-year-old Mark Jackson in the game. And here's Jimmy Jackson. And Fisher the foul.
Well, you heard Phil Jackson in the background whistling. He saw the mismatch down there. Derek Fisher was being posted by Jimmy Jackson, and that whistle was alerting his team. Somebody's got to get back there and help. And Devin George just a step late getting there. So again, good recognition. You know, Kevin, I can't tell you how important it is in a game like this. When you get a matchup, you got to try to take advantage of it. And you have to have a point guard out there who's aware of what's going on. Mark Jackson is a guy who's 10,000 plus assists in his career. He's played 126 playoff games, so he understands. He found the mismatch, and they'll get to the free throw line.
There's Jimmy Jackson at the free throw line. That breaks an 8-0 run by Los Angeles. Free throw shooting 9 of 11 for the Lakers, 8 of 12 for the Houston Rockets. In game 1, which was a little bit dirty, a little bit gritty, Jeff Van Gundy kind of compared it, along with Phil Jackson, to mud wrestling as Kareem Rush checks in for the first time. And there were a lot of factors, and both those coaches kind of referring to it as that. I don't feel that same way tonight about this game.
Well, this is 2 very good, defensive teams, and they're well coached and they're well prepared. And what they do is they take you out of your initial offense. They're not going to let you beat with their initial set. So what you got to do is you got to move the ball. You might have to make the second pass, the third pass to get the shot that you want. That's why it's important to move the basketball. When you play against a good defensive team, when you hold the ball, that plays into their hands.
Rockets have had a 1-point lead early in this game, and that's been it. Fisher. Kareem Rush, who had a couple big-time three-point shots in game one. Medvedenko with the fake on Taylor. Then the drive as he tried to chisel his way into that Rocket defense. Jimmy Jackson.
Kevin, just to go back about Kareem Rush, when you think of the fourth quarter of that game the other night, the Lakers scored 23 points. They win the game by 1. 9 critical points, 2 threes by Rush, 1 by Derek Fisher. They don't win the game without those big threes. 3 of those big threes by those 2 players. Phil Jackson understands that late in the game he's going to need Kareem Rush on the floor because he's going to need another shooter out there. Derek Fisher is out there for his defense right now as he rests Gary Payton, but as a guy who's made big three-point shots throughout his career.
Medvedenko again. He only played 8 minutes in game one, but because Shaq has had some foul problems, he's done a little bit more tonight. 6 points, all have come in this second quarter for Stanislav Medvedenko from the Ukraine. Jimmy Jackson.
Well, I tell you, it's amazing. You know, this is a guy who averaged 26 points a game 1 year for Dallas. This guy who's been a big-time scorer in this league. But where would they be without him? He plays 40 minutes a night for this team. Gives them three-point shooting, toughness on the perimeter.
That broke a 4.5-minute drought for the Rockets. Rebound inside, collected by Steve Francis. We've had 3 turnovers for the Rockets, 2 turnovers for the Lakers. A very clean game so far. And there's Yao Ming, the only Rocket double figures. Weatherspoon inhales the rebound and knocked out of his hand, I believe, and out of bounds, and the Rockets will inbound it.
See, I like what now with Mark Jackson on the floor, it goes, Steve Francis now slides over and he plays as a 2 guard. So look for him to be more offensive minded with this group because now Mark Jackson is running the team.
Nice feed to Weatherspoon, and a foul on Kareem Rush. Weatherspoon's got some miles on him, but he brings a nice savvy to this Rocket team, which collectively have only played 46 playoff games among their 5 starters. Lakers starters over 600 playoff starts. Timeout in Los Angeles. From Los Angeles, the 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT tonight are brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. The Houston Rocket huddle minutes ago. Defense is what he was talking about in that huddle. Defense is what has gotten them to the playoffs, and you've got to know what you are and what they are as a defensive-minded team.
Well, that creates offense, and, you know, they'd gotten down by 6, and he said, look, you know, we've got to get ourselves some stops here. Keep going inside to Yao Ming, who's off to a good start tonight. Keep getting him touches, having him be aggressive. And I like, you know, when you look at Jeff Van Gundy, one of the things that you want in a player is guys that you can trust under pressure. Clarence Weatherspoon, Jeff coached him in New York. He trusts him. He believes in him. Mark Jackson, the same thing. This is a guy who ran the team. So when you bring these 2 guys in, you know you can put them on the floor. They know what you want, and they will execute it. And even though maybe they've slowed down in their careers, which they both have, they know what they're supposed to do, and they will carry out their game plan.
This is game 2 in this best-of-7 first-round Western Conference playoff series. Lakers won game 1 by a single point. Tonight, Lakers have led by 8. Rockets have led by 1. Kobe Bryant's 13, leading all scores. Yao Ming for Coach Jeff Van Gundy has put in 10. The Rockets have only 1 player in double figures. A 5-point game with under 6 to play in the first half. Malone. Shaq with a couple fouls. And that time he was hounded and he was fouled And Weatherspoon is in there because Kelvin Cato has 3 fouls, and he got those 3 fouls as a starter for the Rockets in the first 5.5, 6 minutes of the game.
Well, you think about Weatherspoon now, too. He bought some minutes for Yao Ming. Yao Ming played the entire first quarter because Shaq was in foul trouble. Jeff Van Gundy wanted to take advantage of that matchup. So now with Shaq coming back in, Weatherspoon's done a nice job to help buy some minutes for Yao Ming to get some rest.
Karl Malone.
He's got much more bounce in his step tonight. You could see the other night his leg was not right. He had no lift or elevation, moving much more fluidly on the floor tonight.
Malone had 7 points in game 1. He's already got 10 points tonight. Yao, Mobley, Weatherspoon, Francis, and Mark Jackson out there for Houston. That's out of bounds on the miss. And Mobley fanning there. The Lakers have Malone, Kobe, Shaq, Payton, the Fab Four, with Kareem Rush out of the University of Missouri.
See, the Lakers don't have to double team in the post. And so what are the 3 points? A lot of these 3-point shots the Rockets get are out of double teams. They're not getting clear looks because the Lakers don't have to double team the basketball inside.
Neither team has hit a 3-point shot tonight. Kobe Bryant working on Mobley. Tries to drill his way in that defense, and a foul called again on the Rockets. And it looks like the foul here goes on Weatherspoon for the 2nd time.
When Kobe gets on that baseline, as a defender, you have to get 1 foot out of bounds, because if you don't cut that baseline off, he will tightrope you, and then there's no help. We've seen him do that 3 times tonight, all time get fouled, and that's 6 free throws now that he's going to attempt just from getting on that baseline and making it work.
His free throw no good. All the playoff drama continues tomorrow night on TNT as the Nets host the Knicks, and the Kings take on the Dallas Mavericks. Doug and I will be up in Sacramento for that. And pivotal game 2s. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Also on NBA TV, the Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. And Kobe hits the 2nd. And Bryant now with the game high 14.
And eight of those points at the free throw line, Kevin. He's been fouled 5 times and shot 9 free throws.
Francis flies in and hits his first field goal tonight. He's got 3 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Well, Jimmy Jackson's resting, so now Steve Francis is playing as a 2 guard out there with Mark Jackson. Look for him again to be much more aggressive.
Kobe Bryant. And Yao just knocked O'Neal stride enough, and out of bounds, a foul.
Bad luck here for the Lakers. Shaq with great hustle. Kevin, great hustle, and Mobley just quicker to the ball, and Shaq is going to pick up a loose ball foul. That is his 3rd. But that was wonderful hustle by Shaq. He was going for the loose ball. Watch him here as he lays himself out, trying to get this loose ball. The big man hustling, and Mobley just quicker to the basketball. Shaq rolls into him, and that's his 3rd foul. That's being unlucky right there, because that's just great hustle by 2 players. The little man just quicker to the basketball. Used to be a force out in the NBA was no foul. You could just take the ball out of bounds. When I played, they didn't want to call fouls on those. But now that they have the rule, that has to be a foul.
So Kareem Rush just picked up a foul. There's Shaq with 3. Cato's got 3 for the Houston Rockets. Yao Ming, who Doug has said continually tonight has got to have his fingerprints all over this game, has not been fouled once. He doesn't have to be great, you said. He just has to be good.
No question. I mean, Jeff's not going to put him in a position where he says, look, you have to dominate this game, but you have to put your imprint. You have to, your personality has to be on this game for us. And you know what? You've got to go at Shaq. Every possession, he's going to go at you. And after the series is over, you go up and you shake a man's hand and you earn respect by competing against him at the highest level.
We've had 5 ties and 2 lead changes, and the Lakers have led by 8, and the Rockets have led by as many as 1. Here come the Lakers, knocked away by Mobley, known for his defense. He's out of Rhode Island. Here's Kobe Bryant. 7 to shoot. Rebound by Steve Francis. Rebounding now. -3 for the Rockets. They're hanging right in there. Good feed. Indiana! Set up by Stevie Franchise.
Run the floor, big man. Run the floor. Go right to the front of the rim. Now Phil Jackson's going to have to call a timeout. They were up 8. It looked like they were in control. Shaq picks up his 3rd foul. Rockets are on a 6-0 run. And now the momentum starting to swing to Houston here as we edge towards the end of the half.
Yao Ming with 12 points, the only Rocket in double figures. The 7th seed Houston Rockets, the 2nd seed Los Angeles Lakers. Yao with a big night. Shaq is in foul trouble. We've got a 2-point game before halftime.
America's finest, Detroit's baddest, together again. Don't miss Eddie Murphy in the Saturday Night New Classic, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Saturday night at 7 on TNT.
Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, we are in Los Angeles. Cheryl Miller is the third member of our crew. Yao Ming, 12 points in 16 minutes. No foul trouble.
Well, that's been the biggest change in this game, is the fact that the Rockets have gone to him early and often. He struggled a little bit early. Shaq blocked a few shots. He stayed with it. Story at the half right now is Shaq in foul trouble with 3. When he's in the game, they're +9. When he's out, -7. It's a 2-point game right now. That's the difference in the game.
Fisher for 3, and that is the first 3-point hit of this ball game by either team. The LA Lakers very efficient on offense. 12 assists on 14 made baskets.
A great matchup here. Steve Francis and Derek Fisher, 2 tough guards.
Yao, good feed. Clarence Weatherspoon from Yao Ming.
See, just getting the big guy touch. The defense collapses, you find Weatherspoon. That was a nice screen roll action, and Yao Ming does a nice job punching into that open area.
Rockets 9 assists on 13 made field goals. Rockets 9 assists on 3 turnovers. Great efficiency for both teams. Medvedenko with the rebound by Mark Jackson.
And the Rockets take advantage of those last 3 minutes with Shaq on the bench with fouls to try to get the lead.
Rockets 45% from the field. Hurt there by the miss by Jackson. The rebound by Malone. Here come the Lakers, shooting 41% from the floor. Fisher again for 3.
Kevin, I've told you all season long that I think if the Lakers are going to win a championship, that man right there is going to be a key part of it. He's tough mentally, physically, he makes big shots, he's a leader in that locker room, and the guys trust him on the floor.
And Doug, in low-scoring games, 3-point shooting becomes even more vital.
Well, we talked about, remember, in the fourth quarter, the other night, the 3-point shooting, there's the elbow in the face of Derek Fisher. He comes back and he's going to compete on the other end. He spots up his second 3. They lead by 6. He has really back-to-back 3s to push this lead to 6. But this guy is a tough competitor. The 1 year against San Antonio in the playoffs, he shot like 75% from the 3-point line, nursing a little bit of a groin injury that he's struggling with right now. But again, his 3 in the fourth quarter and Kareem Rush's 2 threes in the fourth quarter, I thought were the difference in the game. Right now, with Shaq being on the bench with fouls, his 3 has kept his team in the lead.
Fisher with 6 points in 56 seconds. Lakers come in with the best record in the NBA since the All-Star break at 26-7. For the Houston Rockets, putting their foot in these playoff waters for the first time in 5 years. And for guys like Stevie Francis, this is his playoff debut in the NBA postseason. Yao Ming with a good move, but missing it all. Malone was defending, and on the rebound, a foul. Luke Walton is checked in the game for the first time, and the rookie out of Arizona, Luke Walton, will pick up the foul.
Well, if you're Luke Walton, you don't have the physical strength, obviously, to keep Clarence Weatherspoon off the boards in the conventional way. You almost have to turn and face guard him and just try to take him out of the play. That time, Weatherspoon with his powerful lower body just got Luke Walton pushed underneath the basket.
I get the feeling we would see a more deliberate style by the Rockets because that's what they like and that's not what the Lakers want to conduct. But really, the pacing back and forth has been, I think, probably to the liking of both teams.
You know, Kevin, if they play a game in the 80s, low 80s, I don't think the Rockets are going to win. They've got to find a way. The statistics say if they don't get to 90, they're 15-27. So they've got to manufacture some points and play great defense.
Yao Ming has played 18 minutes so far, has 12 points. Gary Payton gliding in. Rebound by Yao, just his second rebound tonight. They push it with Jimmy Jackson burying a 3.
See, that's good offense. You get a chance to push the ball out. You get the open 3. That's good transition offense.
Jimmy Jackson, 11 points, but 7 have been authorized here in this second. It's another 3. He stepped out of bounds. Yep, his heel stepped out of bounds on the shot by Derek Fisher.
When you are in the corner like that, it's so easy to step out of bounds because there's very little space there at that three-point line and the out-of-bounds line, so you have to really work on keeping your feet in bounds.
Joe DeRosa, one of our officials right there. Yao Ming guarded by Malone. Shaq with 3 fouls on the bench. And picked up by Derek Fisher, who certainly brings energy to this team.
And toughness and winning.
And here's Luke Walton. Karl Malone, he's got 10 points and 5 rebounds. Gary Payton. And back to Fisher with the great fake on Francis and a rebound by Jackson. Lakers have led by 8. Rockets have led by as many as 1.
Well, Karl Malone's doing a nice job on Yao Ming, pushing him out on the floor, using his lower body. He'll strip him on the way up here if he's not careful.
Yao has a big lower body. I mean, that's a great thing about his game, but the one thing it really hurts him with is maybe the nimbleness and getting back and forth from baseline to baseline.
Well, as his upper body gets stronger, he'll get quicker. Right now, his lower body is so big and strong, his upper body's not big enough to help carry it right now.
No fouls to give either way. Karl Malone. And the rebounding. That was deflected, too. We're even at 20 apiece in rebounding in this game.
Well, it could be very interesting here. After trailing almost the entire first half, the Rockets get a score here. They take the lead. What an emotional lift that would be.
They've had 1 lead already. Jackson for the lead, gets it, and that puts the Rockets up 46-44. So a 10-point turnaround, Doug, in this second quarter. And a 20-second timeout taken by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, if you think about it, what happened? Shaq got in foul trouble. And if it weren't for those 2 threes by Derek Fisher, those 6 points, you talk about the Rockets would be up by about 10 points in this league, but in this game. But you see, just take his time. And against Karl Malone, he's going to strip you if you bring the ball into him. Jimmy Jackson sort of got away with a shuffle there after he got bumped. But Jimmy Jackson down on the low post has hit a big 3 in transition. The post up 2. He's had a terrific first half here with 13 points, 5 of 7 shooting. And Phil Jackson taking this timeout, trying to get the last shot going in here before the half as his team trails by 2.
Kobe Bryant has been quiet in this second quarter after having 9 right out of the blocks in the first 4 minutes and 15 seconds of the game.
Yeah, he's looking, I think, to do what Phil wants him to do. Is, you know, all eyes are going to be on everything that Kobe does, but he's moving the basketball. He's taking good shots. He's getting to the free throw line. Karl Malone's involved offensively, as is Derek Fisher and Shaq. I think they have a nice flow. Kobe's doing a good job.
And again, Shaq on the bench with 3 fouls. Here's Luke Walton thinking about 3. And against Weatherspoon with the feed to Malone, they swing at Payton for 3 in the lead. And the Rockets lead by 2 going to halftime. The Lakers led by 8, 38-30 with 5 minutes left in the half. Houston closes the quarter on a 16-6 run and thus have a 2-point lead.
Well, look at the end of quarters, 29-14. The Rockets plus 15 in that period of time. So they've done a better job closing the quarters, and that's why they lead, along with Shaq's foul problems.
What an addition Jimmy Jackson has been to this franchise this season. He is standing by with our Cheryl Miller.
Jimmy, before the game, you told me one of the major keys for you guys coming into tonight's game was execution. You got to be pleased with the first half.
Oh, we are. We didn't have a lot of turnovers. You know, last game we had 15 turnovers going into halftime, which didn't allow us to get any shots. You know, we got Shaq in foul trouble right now, so offensively, Yao has to keep going at him in the second half.
As far as the second half is concerned, defensively, you've done a great job on Kobe in the first half. What do you do to contain him in the second?
You know, you can't stop him. What you can do is make it tough on him, because if you continue to wear on him, hopefully in the fourth quarter, those shots will come up short. But what we got to be aware of is Karl's being more aggressive. You know, Gary's being more aggressive. So those 2 guys, if they come out and beat us in the second half, it's going to be tough for us to win the game.
All right, good luck in the second half.
Got it.
I'll send it back over to you, Kevin. And
all right, a 2-time college All-America. He's played for 10 teams in 12 seasons, with only this being his 3rd playoff appearance. But Jimmy Jackson has aided this team this season into their first playoff appearance in 5 years. Jackson has put in 13, Yao 14, Shaq's in foul trouble with 3. We're at halftime, and the Houston Rockets, Ernie Johnson, lead the Los Angeles Lakers 46-44 as we send it to you in our TNT studios.
Their biggest lead of the half, as a matter of fact, is the win or go home continues.
You gotta give me someone. That was good.
What?
He said, the Rockets haven't been to the playoffs since I was there. I said, yeah, they ain't won a championship since I left.
Exactly. Hey, what you got on your feet there? Untied
Man,
little socks.
why y'all show my shoes, man?
If you had jeans on, you'd be right, though. That'd be
always trying to embarrass me, man.
Jeans with the A1s.
It's a good look. Thanks for
You'd be
coming out.
straight.
Hey, listen, I told you, I said the other night, I'm not wearing shoes around. I'm going to do the same thing I did the last couple of years. I'm going to be comfortable when I'm sitting here all night.
46-44, the Rockets with the lead over the Lakers. I'm going to start with Nick because we're talking about Jim Jackson, and comes right down to it in game one. He misses a jumper. First thing he does at practice the next day, he's go to the same spot, missed it against us, but I'll make it the next time. Tonight he's got 13 in the first half, and the Rockets have the lead.
I think most good players, when they have a chance to win a game and they miss that shot, they always come back that next game and perform well, and that's what Jimmy's doing.
13 points in the first half, and why are the Rockets where they are right now? How do you beat the Lakers?
Got pictures, too.
Oh, good.
You know what? I showed at the last game about championship basketball and how Robert Horry made the extra effort.
You had pictures then, too, and we appreciate that.
And did those
and
things.
your shoes are tied and everything.
Everything. But I think right now, I'm using a term A.B. Johnson uses a lot. The Laker role players are eating soup with a spoon. Basically, because they're not hungry. If you eat it with a fork, you're hungry. They're not hungry anymore. And I think the other thing, they play the game.
Are you kidding me,
I'm telling
man?
you, their role players don't do the
I
same
heard
thing.
some stupid stuff.
They eat with a spoon.
That's the stupidest thing.
Think about it. You got to walk with me on that one. You got to think about that. If you eat with a spoon, you're getting everything. You're getting all of the endorsements, all of the free things, all the things that go along with being with a champion.
Soup.
But if you eat soup with a fork, you're going to be hungry.
First of all,
First
of all, if you eat soup with a fork, you're just a damn idiot.
You're not. You're hungry.
Is that what
you got to be hungry.
Which team is
Hey,
eating the
just
soup with a
name me
fork?
one
The
person.
Lakers.
Name me one person you ever seen that eating soup with a fork.
The hungry dudes.
Name one.
The hungry dudes. The Lakers are old.
Clyde Drexler.
You know what?
Rick
Mario
Fox,
Ellis.
all of
Something,
those.
even if you've got the best pictures in the world, it ain't going to save
No,
this
it
one.
makes
Roll
total
the pictures
sense.
then.
No,
Let's
because
see.
right now, to
that's
me,
like all in water.
also they're not
That's what you
athletic.
covered with last year.
No, they're not athletic either. In the 1 and 3 spots, and that's probably the 2 spots in basketball where you have to be athletic. You can be non-athletic like Karl Malone, but you see they get beat down the floor. And those are the 1 and 3 spots.
that's a bad
that get
pass.
in position to score. They're not as athletic and they're not as hungry. They're eating soup with a spoon.
Hey, let me slap it. Just pay attention for a second. Reason they're
I'll
here.
slap you again?
Yeah, okay. I'll slap you. The Lakers, they don't utilize Shaq. You know, the Rockets said they're going to come out and pound the ball into Yao Ming. They should have did the same thing to Shaquille. Instead of him getting in foul trouble, he could have got Yao Ming in foul trouble. Kobe takes a lot of jumpers. They don't get Karl Malone, and they should have tried to get Gary Payton and Karl Malone off because they had a terrible last game. They still gonna win this series real easy, but they make the game so hard. That would be like when Houston had Hakeem. If Mario and Kenneth came out and just started shooting jumpers, that makes the game hard. But if you start pounding the ball into Hakeem, he'll get you wide open threes instead of bad threes. And the Lakers make the game so hard. They killing me, Petey.
Hakeem wouldn't let those guys come out and shoot them jumpers anyway.
What we say?
Hakeem's not having that.
You know
Make
what?
it easy. Get the ball inside first. I make your job easy.
Right now, they're eating pot roast with a straw. And
That's
it's,
hard, too. You be hungry.
46-44.
Soup with a
You don't know about a hungry
At the break.
player.
Need
Yeah, y'all quick out there. Y'all quick out there.
That's good right there.
It's like a cooking show. Yao Ming,
He's too big for Karl Malone.
he certainly is. And Shaquille O'Neal in foul trouble. He's got 3. Lakers down 2.
It was funny the first time. Knock it off.
Still pretty good.
The Halftime Report is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Email me.
And that'd be Kenny.Smith.
Yeah, email me.
Verizon Wireless Halftime
If you
Report
understand what
continues.
I'm talking about, if you know about hungry players, email me at Turner.
What's Hubie eating soup with right now?
Oh, he's eating it with everything.
Boy, he better
his
hang-
hands.
He can call his travel agent.
He's eating it with hands. He can't get none of it in his, in his
He can
mouth.
call his travel agent because I told you it's going to be, if Memphis win more than one game, it'll be a miracle.
And San Antonio plays better on the road in the playoffs.
San Antonio's hungry.
Yeah, hungry.
They are playing hungry, aren't they?
Hungry.
What you doing,
They're
Chuck?
eating soup with a fork.
There you go.
He's drinking water with a fork.
That kid ain't never ate nothing that he had to struggle to eat. So we know that's wrong. I'm trying to feel how you gonna eat.
You still hungry though,
This
right?
is the equivalent of soup.
You're still
You're thirsty, right?
Yeah. So when you're doing that,
You're gonna work harder.
yeah.
The Lakers are.
But it's not going to do you any good because you're eating
First
with
of
a
all,
fork.
you're not gonna get anything, stupid.
You're gonna get a little.
Yeah, but you'll be here like 2 weeks trying
And
to
you're
get
gonna
it
work
all.
hard getting it. Exactly. That's my point. You're gonna work hard getting it.
Nick, do you understand what Kenny's?
I understand exactly what he's saying.
Okay, what's he
Go
saying?
bail him out.
What's he
Break
saying?
it down to him.
What he's saying is before the Lakers were hungry, and they did everything hard. They rebounded, they dove on the floor. They did all the little things to help them win the 3 championships.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they were hungry. They were eating with a fork. Now it seems like he's saying they're eating with a spoon, which means they're more comfortable, they're more relaxed.
And easy to get.
You know what,
And they
Charles?
think it's easy.
You know what? Sounds a lot better when it comes out of
said
Nick's
the
mouth
same
than
thing. You're
it
not
comes out of
listening.
Jeff's
All
mouth.
he had to do was say they're not hungry. All that soup with a fork crap. I don't know where the hell they got that from.
Our viewers are educated. I feel that they can go with my analogy. So
If there's a viewer, we'll agree with that. We don't want to
email
watch
us.
it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Kenny
Here we
Dodd.
go.
Call us down here. Ernie Johnson.
No, Kenny.Smith@Turner.com.
I'm there. Call me up, baby. Email me. Eat it up.
Have soup.
Bum
Bomb soup. Hey, Alex, you're going
Dot
overboard
need
up there.
fork.
Hey, Alex, you're going overboard up there. Now let me come up there and slap stuff up.
The story at Staples Center is the Lakers down by a deuce to the Rockets after 24.
The 2004 NBA playoffs. Coverage continues. In the battle for New York, Game 1 was an off-Broadway showstopper. A kid stole the spotlight, outshining the Nick they call Starberry, who will take center stage in Act 2 tomorrow night. Once again, the West was wild. The Mavericks had 5 guns in double digits, but the Kings' 6 shooters fired with deadly accuracy. Knicks, Nets, Mavericks, Kings. Tomorrow night, win or go home.
The Halftime Report has been brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Jimmy Jackson of the Houston Rockets has given the Rockets a 2-point lead at halftime with a lot of star power watching this NBA playoff game here tonight in Los Angeles.
Well, I think the Lakers are just laying back. Unfortunately, they don't have Shaq going full steam, but the best is yet to come. You know, I'm all about rocky finishes. You know what I mean?
It's been kind of ugly basketball. It's been a lot of body punches, and nobody can make shots. It seems like we just don't match up very well against Houston, and they seem to be able to get us to play at their level.
Good defensive play. They seem to be checking Kobe Bryant as much as they can. And a big guy too, but it's a close game. I'm surprised they're behind. It's very close.
Now, what is the biggest star right here? What do you think?
I only wish. Well, I think if you are the Lakers, you got to get Shaquille O'Neal involved in the game. I know he had fouls, but Yao Ming has no fouls in the game. And on one end, they were going to Yao Ming, and Shaq was defending. On the other end, Shaq took 4 shots. The Lakers take 39 shots. He gets 4 shots. They've got to pound that ball inside to him and try to wear Yao Ming down as the Lakers were trying to do, or as the Rockets were trying to do with Shaq.
Well, interesting first half. Let's take a look at some of the numbers in our Home Depot game summary. 46% shooting for the Rockets. And the turnovers, what you don't see there, very impressive for a turnover-plagued team in Houston. The Lakers with 3, but more importantly for the Rockets, they've only got 3 turnovers.
Well, I thought they were jittery in game 1. 15 of their 22 turnovers came in the first half. They made some horrible decisions. Tonight, Steve Francis has 8 assists, only 2 turnovers. But right now, this is the difference in the game. Shaq got put in foul trouble because the Rockets made a conscious effort to get that ball inside, which they're going to continue to do. But Kevin, when you looked at the other 2 things we talked about for the Rockets to win the game, we felt that they had to shoot 45% or better. They're shooting 45.7. felt they had to find a way to get 90 points. They're on pace to get 92. If they keep this up, they got a great chance to win the game.
Well put. Rockets have only led for 40 seconds tonight as now we extend our way into the second half. Here's Kobe Bryant. And he begins the second half the way he started the game with 9 quick points. And tonight, Kobe with a game-high 16. Yao Ming with 14 points, and over Shaquille O'Neal is out there with Kobe Bryant, Peyton Malone, and Rick Fox. That's the Laker 5 to start the second half. Kelvin Cato with 3 fouls with Yao Ming, then Jackson, Mobley, and Francis. Those are the lineups as we start the third quarter. Kobe Bryant and over Mobley, and someone was climbing the back. And inside it was Rick Fox who picks up the foul.
Well, Rick Fox is really struggling. This is a guy who I thought was a big part of the Lakers when they won the championship. He had hit the open threes, one of the better defenders, more physical defenders. And since he's come back from that foot injury, he just does not have the mobility. And Phil's going to have to keep an eye on him because really right now the Rockets aren't even guarding him.
Rockets are the number 7 seed in the West. Lakers the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. The Pacific Division champions, and a free ride for Stevie Francis right down the middle, untouched.
Well, you can see what the Rockets are doing. They're going side to side and getting in quick pick and rolls and forcing Malone or Shaq to have to guard, and Steve Francis just too quick.
Lakers have beaten Houston 3 consecutive times. Last 2 regular season meetings. In a series they split 2-2, but the last 2 regular season meetings, then of course game 1 a couple days ago. 1-0 Lakers lead this series over Houston. A quick foul on Mobley, number 2 in the game on him.
Kevin, they got to get the ball inside to Shaq. Right now he's just sort of the lost man out there on the offensive end. They've got to get him the basketball to get him excited.
Fox fumbles it away. Lakers finish this season 56-26 in Houston 45-37. Game 2 tonight, and Kobe Bryant is hit his second consecutive shot to begin the second half.
I think the Rockets will live with that, though. If they can keep him off the foul line and force him to take that degree of difficulty of shot, I think they'll live with that.
Rockets led by 2 at halftime. They trailed by 1 at the end of 1. Dancing is Jackson, weaving free, counted for 2, and a foul. With a great series of moves, swerving free, and Fox picks up the foul.
Now remember, in Ohio State, Jimmy Jackson was a point guard. And watch him handle the ball, but watch the strength here. Now Rick Fox is a big, powerful, strong man, and he just knocked him on his heels and had the ability now to knock that shot in, get to the free throw line. Jimmy Jackson having a terrific game after he missed that jump shot at the end of the game that would have won the ball game for the Rockets. He has come back here tonight with a vengeance.
He's 6 of 8 from the field and 2 of 2 from the line. Now 3 of 3 with a rocket high 16 points coupled with the 11 points he had at game 1. And Houston has their biggest lead tonight of 3. Peyton knocking Cato over, and Karl Malone, who tonight very accurate. 5 of 7. We mentioned in game 1, Doug, he was only 3 of 14.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy was concerned about his shooting. He said, we got away in the first game. He missed shots he's going to make.
Only the 4th Rocket turnover. Kobe Bryant. Karl Malone. A Rocket foul. Francis put his nose in there. And it is on Steve Francis. He picks up his first foul, and Cheryl Miller, what do you have?
I'll tell you one thing, Kevin and Doug. If there's supposed to be an MVP, most valuable trainer, it would have to go to Gary Vitti. If you just kind of listen to the current Lakers banged up, you got Karl Malone with a sore right ankle, Rick Fox battling that dislocated right thumb, Derek Fisher, a strained groin, Devin George, a strained calf, Kareem Rush, a sore ankle and foot, and now add to the list, Slava Medvedenko, a strained right Achilles. He left in the first half with 6 points in 13 minutes.
Gary Vitti's been here about 2 decades with this franchise.
Just to follow Cheryl up on that, that's why I think the game is so vital tonight for the Lakers. If the Lakers can find a way to win this game, go up 2-0, they don't play again until Friday night. They get 3 days rest before they have to play. If the Rockets can win this game, it changes the face of the series. So this is the game the Lakers, with the rest coming up, have got to find a way to win.
And the Rockets have got to send this thing back to Houston tied at 1-1.
No question. A lot at stake for both of these teams.
Yao Ming against Shaq. Yao's been much more aggressive tonight. He was fouled by O'Neal. That's number 4 on Shaquille O'Neal, who has been plagued with foul problems tonight. He has played only 17 minutes with 2 points and 5 rebounds. And he's just been tagged with his 4th personal foul, and it comes at the 9:12 mark of the 3rd.
Well, you could see that Kobe Bryant not happy with that call, but Shaq did hit him on the bottom of his wrist. And again, you know, Kevin, the more touches and the more opportunities a guy gets to score, the more pressure he's going to put on the defense. And I mean, Yao Ming has taken, it took 12 field goal attempts in the first half. He got to the line 5 times, so he's taken 13 field goal attempts and shot 6 free throws. Very much involved. And he's got Shaq now in a tough situation with 4 fouls. Phil's going to leave him out there. Probably Karl Malone now will play Yao Ming, and they'll leave Shaq out there for his offense.
Yao Ming 5 of 7 from the free throw line. They were putting Shaq on the wing a lot late in the season, but now they reverted to what they've done in the past. Malone, boy, is he hot tonight. Karl Malone, 15 points in 21 minutes for the Los Angeles Lakers. He is 6 of 8. Inside, Kelvin Cato.
Now, see, the first half, he tried to flip 2 of those shots up there and missed them. That time, you go up with both hands and you power dunk the basketball. Otherwise, Kobe Bryant would have blocked that shot.
Lakers are shooting 43% from the floor. Malone again, wide open. Kobe Bryant, nice move. Cato bites. Inside, a foul. Francis and Payton, and Gary Payton has picked up the foul for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, but see, when Cato ran at Kobe Bryant on that play, he disrupted the rhythm of his shot. He had to reload, and then he missed it. So just running out and getting a hand up changes the complete percentage of what a guy who shoots on the floor.
Rockets shooting 49% for the game. Lakers have led by 8. Rockets have led by as many as 3. Yao Ming. Rebound by Shaquille O'Neal, number 6.
So Yao Ming does not want to go on the perimeter now with Karl Malone in the game. Get back in the post because Shaq is guarding Cato right now, so you can go inside.
Bryant for 3. Missed it badly. Yao Ming with rebound number 3. Jackson's got 16. Good screen by Cato that opens the door, and Jimmy Jackson from point-blank range can't get it. Here comes Kobe with 18 points. The dance, he fires, and he can't get it to go.
Shaq didn't even get across half court that time. I don't think he's attempted a shot this entire period. We played almost 5 minutes.
Shaq 1 of 4. You're right. 1 of 4 for the game. Cato. Rebound by Fox.
I think the Lakers have to slow the pace of this game and throw the ball inside to Shaq. Let the guy get a touch.
The alley-oop looking for Shaq. And over Yao with a foul. Is that the first one on Yao? Maybe not. Let's see. Cato picks up number 4.
It's going to be on the pass-off, so Shaq will not be shooting free throws. And Shaq makes a great reaction here. He sees the ball is going to go off the backboard. He recovers and those big hands and finds a way to grab that ball in the last minute, passes the ball off to Karl Malone, so no free throws.
Kobe Bryant's 18 points, a game high. 16 from Jimmy Jackson, the Rocket high. Here comes Shaq in foul trouble with 4, approaching 7 to play. Kobe Bryant. That was unbelievable!
Diagram that.
You can't. Not in your wildest imagination.
Look at this. Gets the contact. Has no idea where the basket is. But here's the whistle. So he shoots it at the basket. This is amazing. Look at Kobe Bryant. What a spectacular play. That might be the most sensational basket of the year.
Francis picked up his 2nd foul. The Lakers by 2. They've trailed by 3. Kobe with the game high 21-7 in the 3rd. Francis intercepted. No, Fox could not find the handle. Rebounding in this game +3 for Los Angeles.
They got out rebounded by 10 in game 1, so very positive stat there for the Lakers.
Good point. Yao was screened from Mobley. Payton was knocked aside, and that's the result as Coutinho throws down the sledgehammer.
I love these Rocket guards because you know why? They're competitive. You know, sometimes they'll kick the ball around and not make the best play, but you know, we talked to Jeff Van Gundy before the game. He said, you know what? I was so proud of my guys. They fought the other night. They fought to the finish. They played hard.
Malone's got the hot hand, as does Bryant. Shaq trying to find his rhythm. Kelvin Cato. Francis has 7 points and 9 assists.
Take your time. Malone cannot block this shot. Just go up strong and shoot the ball.
Does. He sets. Rockets back on defense, but this can tire out Yao Ming. It's Kobe Bryant trying to take off and comes down hard and is fouled on the play. And that will go against Francis for number 3.
So Steve Francis has got to be very careful. This game here, the referees are doing a nice job. They don't want to be too demonstrative. They didn't want to pick up a technical foul by reaction to the referee. You know, 1 point could decide a game. You know, Kobe now is at the line. He's already 9 for 10, so you can tell how aggressive he is, Kevin. He is going to that basket. Free throws number 11 and 12 on the game.
Kobe, the NBA player in the month of March. And he played from the All-Star break on, played about as well as any player in the NBA. Highlighted by a game-winning, division-clinching 3-point basket against the Blazers in double overtime.
Well, it changed the whole seeding in the West. You know, the Lakers, you know, go to 2 instead of 4, and now are facing the Rockets instead of Dallas.
Cuttino Mobley, Jackson open for 3. Rebound by Kobe Bryant. Oh, you bet he's going to take it. Good pace in this third quarter as Francis trying to take it in, lost the ball, and a Rocket turnover, only their 5th of the night. We're all going to catch our breath here because the pace in this third has been something to watch. And speaking of that, Houdini is in the building with this terrific shot that is all a part of his jaw-dropping game. Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers lead by 2 on TNT. Tonight we're in Los Angeles for the 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT, which are brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns, Dodge. And by Wendy's, new Chicken Temptations. It's better here. Some players have been tempted to gamble a bit on defense, and when they have, they've been tagged with fouls, and this is the up-to-date foul story for the Rockets and Lakers so far.
Well, I think the big story here is you say, why is Shaquille O'Neal still on the floor with 4 fouls? Because Phil Jackson believes that he can slide over and guard Kelvin Cato, not pick up his 4th, stay in the game. And if Shaq goes over and sits down, he may never get back into this game where you got that sweat and you got that feeling, because he set out so much in the first half, and he's going to trust that he knows how to play without picking up his 5th foul under this situation. Karl Malone is now guarding Yao Ming.
If someone told me you have a 30-year-old son, that cannot be the case.
Yeah, happy birthday to my son Christopher Ryan today, 30 years old. That makes me old.
The Duke assistant coach and the son of proud Papa Doug. Here we go, 5:22 to play in the third. Yao Ming picks up a foul. It'll be his first tonight, and boy, what great position was staked out by Shaquille O'Neal, who slips in, and that is his zone.
Well, look where he catches the ball. I mean, Yao Ming's all the way underneath the basket, and Yao Ming wanted to take a foul there, and it wasn't strong enough. Shaq just took him right to the basket. So why does Phil leave him in? Because he feels like he can get his offense, and he will not pick up a foul on the defensive end because he does not have to guard Yao Ming.
Shaq 1 of 3 from the free throw line. His first field goal since 9 minutes left in the second quarter has just put the Lakers up 61-56. Cuttino Mobley across the circle. Great pickup by Kelvin Cato, who has played in foul trouble most of the night. Gary Payton meeting one Rocket defender after another as he takes it the other way.
Danger time right now for the Rockets. They cannot lose contact with the Lakers here in this period.
Rick Fox, Karl Malone. Now up top, they're going to slide it inside for Payton, who was looking for Shaq and picked up by Francis.
Oh, what a great play by Steve Francis to help on that play.
And he goes streaking the other way. Mobley for 3. And retrieved by Francis into Yao. stripped of the ball and picked up by Malone, who ricochets it right off of Yao Ming. Nice play by Karl Malone.
See, Karl Malone is not going to block your shot. He's going to strip it down low on the way up. So when you bring the ball up around the basket around him, you cannot expose the basketball that way. Watch where Yao brings this basketball down. Right there, waist level, and Malone just knocks it away and then has the presence of mind to throw the ball off Yao Ming. Look like a football official there. First down.
Lakers have led by 8. Rockets have led by 3 in a game that has contained 6 lead changes and 10 ties. Approaching 4 to play in the third. Bryant is glittered here in the third quarter, as he did in the first with his 9 to begin the game. It's O'Neal in foul trouble. And Rick Fox. Karl Malone, 6 of 8. Picked up inside. Kelvin Cato and Shaq. I think it's going to change, and they're going to give it to the Lakers.
Shaq's got to be very careful, though, with the 4 fouls. Does not want to come over the back to pick up his 5th. Bernie Fryer, Joe DeRosa talking about it. They're going to confer.
It's going to give the Rockets the ball.
Keep it with the Rockets. But interestingly enough, now Yao Ming resting. You have Cato in the game who will guard Shaq. Mo Taylor offensively now has got to pick up the pace. He's a guy who can come in off the bench and score. We've talked about that. Let's see if he can go at Karl Malone and create some offense.
So on the floor, Jimmy Jackson with the ball. Maurice Taylor, Mobley, Cato, and Steve Francis. That's the Rocket 5. Fox out there with Malone. Luke Walton is in the game with Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton. And Fox defending low. Shot clock at 3, and Francis with a Luke Walton rebound.
That was a bad possession right there. Steve Francis tried to go too much at Kobe, held the ball too long. Bad possession.
Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant. Karl Malone's got 15. Walton for 3.
They love Luke Walton here in Los Angeles. The young guy, look at the smile on his face. Big 3 for his team, pushes the lead to 8. And that's why you have to have shooters on the floor when you have Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Ball inside, the double team, gets his feet together, loads it up, nice rotation. LA on an 11-2 run as they've taken a 1-point lead here with 3:20 to go in the period. The Lakers on a 11-2 run, they lead by 8. And Kevin, I'll show you why this is a bad possession. As you go into one-on-one, you stop this right here. Look at this. The Lakers are gonna load up. Basically against isolation, you just play a zone. There's no place to go, and you end up taking a bad shot. But more importantly, when you see it from another angle, you're going to see Kobe Bryant. And look at this right here. Look at this smile on his face. Said, you know what, Steve? I've got you. I've got help behind you. There's no place to go. I'm going to force you into a tough shot. This is a good defensive possession for the Lakers and a bad an offensive position for the Rockets.
Both teams are shooting 41% from the field. Lakers have knocked down 3 3-point shots. Rockets have hit 1. Houston has not scored from the field in over 3.5 minutes. They have missed 6 straight. Yao Ming is back in. Francis, Taylor, Mobley, and Jimmy Jackson. A big-time 3 by Stevie Francis.
And timely. That is the second 3 of the game for the Rockets. We've talked about how much they depend on that 3-point line on the season. They shoot 37%, which is 3rd in the league. Tonight, they've only made 2.
Shaq is on the bench. It's Kobe finding Malone with Walton, Fox, and Payton. And the shot clock now at 5. And Bryant has got a twist out of this one. Rebound by Jackson.
Now, Kevin, remember, in the first 2 quarters, the Rockets have owned the end of quarters. And let's see what happens here at the end of the 3rd.
Mobley. Fox came and defended. Walton did as well. Shot clock at 5. Maurice Taylor and a Laker foul. Is it Walton? Let's see. Maybe Fox. It was Fox for the 4th time.
Off the ball, clock winding down. Looked like the Lakers had him in a good position to be able to force up a tough shot. And Rick Fox off the basketball picks up the foul. So Maurice Taylor can go to the line here. He makes both of these, and he can cut it back to a 3-point lead.
Here's one of the best bench scorers in the NBA this season. Put him in the same breath as Antoine Jamison, Rajah Bell, Earl Boykins at Denver. All the playoff drama continues tomorrow on TNT as the Nets take on the Knicks and the Kings take on Dallas and Sacramento in pivotal game 2s. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern. Also on NBA TV, Boston and Indiana. But this guy off the bench with his scoring is invaluable for Coach Jeff Van Gundy.
Well, he gives them a punch off the bench because Cato gives them the defense and rebounding. Maurice Taylor, not a good defender, not a good rebounder. He gives you the scoring, so they're a nice little match to go with Yao Ming.
We saw Shaq relegated to the bench with 4 fouls and approaching 2 minutes to play in the third. Kobe Bryant, the game-high scorer with 23. Gary Payton has put in 6. Luke Walton just hit a 3, cannot follow it with a 2. And here's Francis, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, closing in on a triple-double for the Houston Rockets. Travel. And Luke Walton had some nice defense for Los Angeles.
Well, he did a nice job, and then Gary Payton saw that he was in trouble, and he went down to help his teammate. And when Maurice Taylor saw him coming, he tried to spin baseline, and he shuffled his feet. So good low-post defensive position by Luke Walton, and then great team help by Gary Payton.
They slip it into Payton, outside to Bryant. Shot clock at 9.
Got to keep him off that baseline.
Over Mobley. He defended him well. Nice offensive rebound by Malone. And Kobe Bryant slow to get up. He came down hard. 22nd timeout taken. I don't know if he slipped, but when he came down after that shot, he contorted his body. It just didn't look right. And he was holding his back.
Well, Cheryl Miller talked about all the injuries, but watch this fading jump shot, and he goes back. Watch, he backpedals. And he hits a slick spot.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. You see Jeff Van Gundy, being the kind-hearted gentleman he is, tries to help him up there a little bit. But those are the kind of plays that you get hurt on. And let's hope that it's nothing serious for Kobe. We know he's had the shoulder problem this year. Battled through that.
Rockets are trailing in this series. 1-0. When you got a guy with the bald head, you grab him like a basketball, don't you? Just grab him.
I tell you, those trainers.
How about the hours they put in?
The athletic trainers in this league, the time and energy and effort and the passion and love that they put in their jobs. There's not a person in the NBA that works harder than these athletic trainers, keeping these players healthy and prepared to play.
Lakers leading rebounding by 1. 20 assists to 22 made baskets for the Lakers. Wonderful efficiency by their offense tonight. Kobe Bryant over 3. Foul. I mean, think about that for a second, Doug, as the foul is put on Mobley. 20 assists on 22 made baskets.
Well, that means they're moving the basketball. When you play against the Rockets or a team that plays very good team defense, you got to move the ball from side to side, and you got to move players. When you stand and keep the ball in one spot, that's when they can load up on you. And again, I said the Lakers, 23-plus assists in a game. They're very difficult to beat, and they're on pace to do that tonight as we see Shaq come back in the game with 4 fouls here with 1:15 to go in the period.
Luke Walton, the rookie, will take a breather. Also, the Lakers have only 4 turnovers tonight. Rockets have 7. Rockets have been the second most turnover-prone team in the NBA this season. So with just 7 through basically 3 quarters, a good sign. 6-point game.
Interesting sub for Shaq to come back at the 1:15 mark.
I was just thinking that. Why put him in there?
I know he's guarding Yao Ming. I'd throw that ball in there to Yao Ming and make him work.
Maurice Taylor. 4-point game.
Unless they're going to go inside to Shaq. They've got good 3-point shooting on the perimeter right now. So you've got Payton and Fisher out there along with Kobe. But I would think that the Lakers want to go inside with this unit.
So Fisher is in, the Fab 4 in for Los Angeles. Karl Malone putting in a vintage performance tonight. 7 of 11, 17 points. 6 rebounds.
Well, we talked about that matchup, the X factor, Maurice Taylor and Karl Malone. Big advantage, Karl Malone right now.
Francis with the mismatch. Dancing his way inside. And all that dancing produced nothing. No fouls to give either way. Here comes Gary Payton.
I told you, Michael Jordan had a great expression for that. $1 million move, 10-cent finish.
Kobe for 3.
Rockets losing their composure a little bit here at the end of the period. And the Lakers have taken advantage. They pushed it to a 9-point lead.
This will be at the final seconds of the third as Francis tries to invent and does. And brings Houston to within 7. Bryant will try to beat the buzzer. And a foul.
What is Mobley thinking?
A foul on Cuttino Mobley.
Shooting a 3. What is he thinking about there to take the foul? He knows you're in the penalty. I can't even understand what he's thinking there. I mean, you cut it to 7. He just reached out and grabbed him. Watch this. I mean, there's no mistake.
He obviously thought they had a foul to give.
They've been in the penalty for about 5 minutes.
I agree. But that's what he's saying to Jeff Van Gundy.
Well, I mean, you've got to understand the fouls. I mean, it's a playoff game. You've got to have composure. I said you lose your composure like that, you've just scored.
I mean, what other explanation can there be?
Well, there is none, but I mean, you got to know you're in the penalty.
Huh? What? No.
I mean, they've been shooting free throws for 5 minutes.
Oh. That was a great shot. They've been shooting in the penalty since at least the 3-minute mark of this third quarter.
I mean,
that's obviously what he was saying. Am I right?
Yeah, but I mean,
no, it's almost.
Coach, that's an alibi, not an excuse.
Bryant hits 2. Yeah, exactly. And good if it goes. Oh, and off the iron as Francis just about nailed it. But Kobe Bryant with a terrific third quarter of 17, a game-high 31. A road team has not won in these 2004 NBA playoffs yet. And the way it's going now, the Lakers will try to keep that intact, leading with their largest advantage of 10 at the end of 3 in Los Angeles. Los Angeles Lakers, bringing together these 4 future Hall of Famers, have had, to say the least, a roller coaster ride of a season. Injuries to Shaq and to Kobe Bryant as Phil Jackson has tried to get this team focused. Late in the season, they had 11 consecutive wins. Coming into tonight, they have won 15 of their last 18 games. Many think they're the favorite in the West, and tonight playing like it, with Kobe's 31, 16 in game 1. And he really wasn't the kind of Kobe Bryant we thought we'd see. But this morning at breakfast, you said, wait a minute. Rarely does he string 2 bad games together.
Well, look at his free throws, 16 of 17. He's been in the attack mode from the moment the game has begun. His defense has been terrific. And Shaq, with his foul trouble, has had an off night. And the other guys have picked him up.
Yeah, with the screen for Steve Francis and a missed 2, and Luke Walton getting some nice minutes. Luke Walton only played 4 minutes in game 1.
And you can see who Phil has on the floor right now. He has Kareem Rush and Fisher, 2 excellent 3-point shooters to go with Kobe and Luke Walton.
And Shaq. Right, exactly. Looked like Fisher got tagged over and back, and Fisher holding his backside. That's what he thinks of the call. That was a pain in the backside type call.
Well, there's a bump. There's no question about it. The question is how much of it is to knock Derek Fisher over the line. It's hard to tell on that play how much he was pushed and how much he sort of flopped a little bit.
So Doug just gave you the Laker 5. Rockets in there with Yao Ming. And they've got Jimmy Jackson and Mark Jackson and Maurice Taylor and Stevie Francis. That sets the guys on the floor to begin the 4th quarter. Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. 5 points and 7 rebounds for Shaq. Kobe Bryant diving for 2.
Well, he's putting on some kind of show tonight. His energy level is off the charts. I don't know if I've seen him more passionate in a game this season that we've done, Kevin.
Lakers lead this series 1-0. Jimmy Jackson, who's been quiet in the second half, and uncorks a 2-pointer there. He's got 18.
Well, the question is going to be now, the Lakers are in a great offensive rhythm. Can the Rockets sustain enough defense to get back into this game? Because right now the Lakers are doing what they want to do out on the court.
Rockets the 7th seed. That's Kareem Rush with a 3. He had 2 threes in the 4th quarter in game 1 and picks up where he left off.
He's sort of their Mariano Rivera now, sort of their closer out there. That guy hits the big threes when it counts. 2 of them again the other night when the game was in the balance, Kevin. So playing with great confidence right now.
Biggest lead for the Lakers now at 13 points.
Well, again, another assist. That's their 22nd assist of the game. Kareem Rush, a brilliant shooter out of the University of Missouri, starting to find his way now with this Laker team and how he fits in.
Kobe Bryant picked up his second foul. Yao Ming, Maurice Taylor, the ex-Los Angeles Clipper. Yao. Did he beat the buzzer? No. 24-second shot clock violation.
So that microcosm of the second half for the Rockets. Had a dunk and a fumble there. Shot clock violation. So instead of cutting this lead to 11, the Lakers now have the basketball, a chance to push it to 15. So that Houston offense that was so good in the first half with 46 points, now only 66. So 20 points in the second half as the Lakers have locked in again defensively.
Lakers with an alley-oop. Walton looking for Shaq. Lakers led by 1 at the end of 1. Francis the other way. The foul on Kareem Rush. Houston led by 2 at halftime. Los Angeles led by 10 points after 3.
I think the Lakers like this third quarter a little bit better than they did the other night. Kevin, 4 of 21 the other night, 9 points, 4 turnovers. And you see tonight, get to the free throw line 11 times. A lot of that Kobe Bryant. They shoot 9 of 19, a 30-point quarter. They win that quarter by 12 to take the lead by 10. And right now, the Rockets got to grasp onto something here that's going to work for them. They were in a good rhythm, and the Lakers now sort of rocked them on their heels, Kevin, and they've got to respond.
Steve Francis has a triple-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He becomes the 4th player in Rocket history to do that in the playoffs, in the postseason. Kobe is double. Luke Walton is open. Yao goes to defend. That hit the underneath portion of the backboard. And so here comes Francis. Rockets the 7th seed. The Lakers the 2 seed as Walton hustles and out of bounds. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Pacific Division champions for the first time in 3 years.
You got to love the hustle by Luke Walton, though. He made a turnover. A lot of times you want to drop your head, Kevin, and you feel sorry for yourself. He sprinted back and got in the passing lane. Almost made a nice steal.
Karl Malone sets the check back in. 40-year-old Karl Malone, part of that 50th anniversary team. Luke Walton has given the Lakers tonight some very solid minutes. 8 points, make it 8 minutes, 3 points, and 2 rebounds.
Well, you can see he has the respect of the veteran players, and that's important when you're a young player on a veteran team like this.
Francis, Taylor, good pass.
I tell you, Steve Francis is so quick and powerful. When he gets in the lane, he's impossible to stop. He's either going to get a good shot or, a couple times we've seen him jackknife shots in there. But when he takes his time and finds the open man, watch how he breaks the defense down. Karl Malone gets knocked over by Yao Ming, and those are the kind of point-blank shots you like if you're Maurice Taylor.
Little blood on Kobe Bryant, and so they are going to attend to that.
Again, Kevin, 9 minutes to go here in this period, and here's what the Lakers have to be thinking. 9 hard minutes. We go 2-0 up in this series, and we don't play again until Friday. We got 3 days to recover, the little battle wounds that we have now, all the aches and pains, and that the Rockets would have to beat us 4 out of 5 to win the series. That's how important this last 9 minutes is.
All right, then tell me about Houston in the last 9 minutes.
Oh, they got to say, look, there's still plenty of time. It's only a 10-point game. We've shown that we can get back, but we got to do it on the defensive end. Right now the Lakers are moving the basketball. They're getting high percentage shots, and we've got to find a way to piece together 3 or 4 stops in a row to give ourselves a chance to get back in this game.
The official scores table has just come over and told us they have changed the Lakers shot to a turnover. So the Rockets, Steve Francis does not indeed have a triple-double yet. He is 1 rebound shy. Good pass, Malone to Fisher. What a play by Derek Fisher with an equally as beautiful play with a pass from Karl Malone.
See, Karl Malone, when he was out, one of the things the Lakers really missed within their offense, a guy who would give themselves up. He's an excellent passer. We saw him play out there a lot with the Utah Jazz. He loves to pass the basketball. He used to play in an offense where there's a lot of cutting, a lot of slashing. Karl Malone has answered the bell tonight. He wants that championship ring, and he's playing like a champion tonight.
Back in Los Angeles, time now for Fast on Their Feet, presented by Lamisil. And this was some high stepping, kicking up heel move by, by Kobe Bryant. That was sweet. Well, early in this game, middle of this game, to begin the second half, we talked about Yao Ming had to have his fingerprints all over the Rockets. He had to play not great, but good. And what have you seen in the second half?
A very good first half. He had 14 points, was very much involved in the second half. 0-4, only 1. So the Lakers have done a nice job. Now, a lot of that has been with Shaquille O'Neal in foul trouble. So you have to give a lot of credit to Karl Malone and some of the other guys who've come in and done a nice job so that Shaq could stay in the game and not have to guard Yao Ming in foul trouble as Derek Fisher steps up and finishes off the three-point play. So it's not only been Karl Malone's passing and his scoring and his rebounding, but his defense tonight has been very, very good when they've needed it.
Lakers are 23 of 27 from the free throw line. Jackson, Taylor, foul, Karl Malone. Free throw shooting for the Rockets tonight, 17 of 26. Oh, they're going to give it to Kobe Bryant. Bryant picks up number 3. Shaq is played in foul trouble, but it was one of the more interesting coaching moves tonight. Late in the first half, with 4 fouls, Phil Jackson reinserted Shaq and let him kind of play out of that bind, and he's done that very well, and he's still on 4 fouls.
You have to trust your player that he knows how to play with fouls, and that's just by being with him in big games.
Now trying to split the defense of Malone and Shaq, and that's on Karl Malone.
See, Shaq had been in such foul trouble, Kevin, that you take him out of the game, he may never break a sweat the entire game. He might not be able to get himself involved in the game. So you say, look, you know what? Stay on the floor. No offensive fouls coming over the top on rebounds. Play your good, solid defense against, at that time it was Cato, and let Karl Malone take Yao Ming, and that's exactly what's worked.
Rockets led by the 18 points of Jimmy Jackson. Here's Yao. He's got 15. And Mark Jackson chasing it, saved it, but it goes right to Derek Fisher. And now Shaq with 5 points and Rush for 3. Kareem Rush has become a fourth quarter flamethrower. He has knocked down 4 3-point shots in the fourth quarter of these first 2 games in this best-of-7 series.
Well, if you want to talk about one of the differences in the game, that's 6 3-point shots for the Lakers. Total of 18 points. They get it off the turnover. Shaquille O'Neal runs the floor, and he finds Kareem Rush, kicks it out. It's almost the identical spot he hit the 3 the other night to help break the game when the Lakers needed it. They lead by 16 on the strength of some 3-point shooting.
Tonight from Los Angeles, the 2004 NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. Hyundai. By Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By IBM. Making on-demand business a reality for companies around the world. And by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan at the Staples Center in downtown L.A.
Well, you know, Kevin, we talked about what do the Rockets have to do to win this game tonight? Get Yao involved. They did early. He had 14 points in the first half, only 1 in the second half. They got to hit shots. 30 and 10 when they shoot 45% or better. At halftime, they were shooting over 45%. Now it's down to 42%, and they got to get to 90. And you can see what happens when they don't. They're 15 and 27. They're sitting on 69 points. They've been outscored 41-23 in the second half.
Yao Ming has had no field goals since 54 seconds left in the second quarter. The Lakers currently on a 19-7 run. Houston is shooting 42% from the floor. Mobley cleaned up by Jackson. Shot clock at 2. Jimmy Jackson by a couple Lakers, and a shot clock violation on the Houston Rockets, picking up their 10th turnover tonight.
Well, I will tell you this. The Lakers early in the year, when they were 18-3, were playing this kind of defense. Karl Malone got hurt. Shaq got nicked up. Kobe was out. They really lost a defensive edge. It was not there. They are starting to get it back. And if they're going to win the championship and come out of the West, they're going to have to do it on the defensive end of the floor, and they've really picked that up here in the first 2 games, Kevin.
Doug, Lakers are shooting 45% for the game. They've hit their last 6 shots until that fan right there by Kobe Bryant.
Well, how about they have 25 assists, only 7 turnovers, and they have 28 field goals. So 25 assists on 28 field goals. They're moving the ball.
Steve Francis rolls it in. He's now got 15 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds.
You can see Jeff Van Gundy picking up the defense now, trying to get up the floor to create some turnovers. That's something the Rockets don't do very well.
Lakers have led by 16. Rockets have led by 3. Shaquille O'Neal. Shockingly, stunningly, O'Neal 5 points in 28 minutes, and a 5th foul called on Kelvin Cato. And let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Kevin and Doug, out of that last timeout, it was really Maurice Taylor and Jimmy Jackson doing a lot of the talking in the huddle. He said, come on, guys, we can't break down now. We've come too far. Let's tighten up defensively, offensively. Let's attack the basket, get to the free throw line. But there is no quit on this Houston bench right now, guys.
Fisher with the miss. Tap in by Fisher. I think Derek Fisher got in his own miss. The Lakers are +4 in rebounding tonight.
Now we've seen Fisher post up and get a 3-point play, post up, miss it, and tip his own shot in. And he's the best in the league at doing this. Kelvin Cato sort of twists on his screen. He's going to foul out on the play, but Derek Fisher, when he sees a screen, watch him run right into it. Right there, he runs right into it, and he puts the onus on the official to blow the whistle. That's 5 on Kelvin Cato. Yao Ming will come back on the floor.
Cheryl Miller told us earlier in the game he's got a severe groin pull. He was wearing a harness in practice that was used by former Olympic sprinter Quincy Watts. Now, whether he's got that tonight, we can't tell and weren't told, but he does have some wrapping underneath those shorts, and it is painful every time he's moving around, especially on big hits like that.
Well, some of that speed of Quincy Watts must have wore off on that brace he was wearing, that harness, because he's moving around pretty darn good tonight. I've said all along, and you go back early in the year, Derek Fisher was sort of the odd man out here early in the year with Gary Payton being here. And he is a vital part of this team because he can guard the ball, he can make shots, and he is tough.
Payton didn't look too happy. He's got 6 points. O'Neal's got 5 points. Here's Jimmy Jackson. Rejected by Shaquille O'Neal. He's got 3 blocks tonight. Mobley, shot clock at 3. Volleyballed and picked up by Taylor. Lakers are contending, Doug, every shot, no matter where it's taken from.
Well, that's what you have to do in the playoffs. You don't want to let the Rockets finish this game well. You want them to leave a sour taste in their mouth going home. Don't let them get into any kind of rhythm. You don't want Yao Ming to hit 2 or 3 baskets here at the end of the game, even though it's over probably, Kevin. You don't want to let him score. You don't want to let Francis, Jackson, Mobley, these guys get into a rhythm going home.
Fisher just picked up his 2nd. Francis now officially does have a triple-double. They have just given him a rebound that finishes him off. High score in the game, Kobe Bryant with 33. The only other player, starter, in double figures, Malone with 17. They've gotten 11 from Fisher off the bench. Fisher 11 points in 19 minutes. And like he's done so many times in his playoff past, Derek Fisher has brought energy and some defense and some hustle to the Los Angeles Lakers.
He could play on my team any day. In fact, when I was in Detroit, we were drafting, I think, 26 or something. We wanted to take him with a 26 pick. The Lakers took him. We ended up taking Jerome Williams, who's been a terrific player in the NBA as well, but working him out coming out of college. I loved his work ethic and all the things that he was about. You just knew he was a winner.
Karl Malone. Good pass to Rush. Knocked away by Mobley, and the shot clock at 8 and the big clock at 5:28. Very important game. As Doug just told you, a 2-0 lead with 3 days off for the Lakers is very tough to ignore. Houston felt they had to have tonight. Fisher, again, grimacing every time he touches the ball. Malone, rebound by Mobley.
Now that's the way Karl Malone got hurt when he took that shot. Scott Williams fell into his leg almost on the identical kind of play.
Cuttino Mobley. Rush. Yao Ming still has not scored from the field since late in the second quarter.
And that was Shaq being in foul trouble.
Exactly. Has Shaquille O'Neal ever scored 5 points? Maybe 7 right there. He's going to have a hard time, though, getting to double digits. 7 points, 7 rebounds.
Shaq looked over and said, "Wouldn't know if I was checking out his handle on that move there." A little isolation for him to go one-on-one from the perimeter.
Yao Ming. Finally, it drops. First time he has scored from the field since 54 seconds remain in the first half.
See, I think it was very important that Phil did not take Shaq out with 4 fouls. He's played, he's maintained the 4 fouls, he's stayed in the game, and even though he hasn't scored, him being out there forces the Rockets to have to guard him and helps other guys.
Off the bench, Kareem Rush has come tonight in 11 minutes, 8 points, 3 of 3, including a couple of three-point bombs.
Now remember, again, in game 1, in a game that was won by 1 point, the Lakers scored 23 points in the 4th period. Kareem Rush had 6 of them with 2 threes. Derek Fisher had 3, so they had 9 of the 23 points. When Kobe Bryant was 1 of 11 in that period, those 2 guys really helped pick up the slack to help them win that first game. Take Shaq here. He's looked at me with a little nod there, like, how about that handle? He loves those kind of things. I love his freshness. He was talking the other day. They asked him at the end of game 1, they said, "Did you feel like you were the hero of the game with that dunk?" And he said, "My hero is a sandwich." And he said, "I'm cutting back on my carbohydrates during the playoffs." I mean, he's such a funny guy.
But look, we were talking about a career playoff low back in the '97 playoffs against the Utah Jazz. 11 points tonight. He has got 7. The pace tonight, it varied from a baseline to baseline game to some half-court game, but it didn't matter because the Lakers, Doug, it seemed at every turn, at every twist, at every difference in texture, adapted their game to whatever they faced.
Well, the Lakers have played great defense in the second half, and since Shaq has picked up his 4th foul, they've outscored the Rockets 40-22, so their defensive level has just picked up as the game has gone on.
Kobe's got a game-high 33. Steve Francis with the triple-double.
You know, he's played a terrific game. You know, his turnovers have been down. He's run the team. He's made nice plays. He's rebounded the basketball. He's got his assists. Steve Francis has played a very good basketball game tonight.
They've got 3 of the Fab 4 on the floor. As we see Rush.
He's 4
of 4.
I mean, he's driving to his right, spins back, and hits the left-handed jumper. I mean, I don't think the shot has hit the rim yet.
Payton is the only one of the future Hall of Famers that is not in the game. Resting, and Yao hits another.
What's the chances of Kareem Rush being the Lakers' leading scorer in the 4th quarter? If I would have said that coming in, what does he have, 10 in the 4th quarter?
Yep. 15 total bench points from the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. In this quarter, the 15. O'Neal. Francis to Yao, and he's at 3 in a row after going most of the second half with nothing from the floor.
See, that's what you don't want to have to do the Lakers. You don't want Yao Ming to get 4 or 5 baskets here late in the game. Even though they won't count for this game, they help his confidence. Anytime that ball goes in the basket as a young player, it helps him.
And he's looking for as much confidence as he can get against the very difficult Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, these are uncharted waters for him right now. He's never played in a game of this kind of magnitude. He's playing against the most dominant low-post player in the game. And every game is a learning experience, and he's learning quickly.
Yet trailing by 13. Timeout.
Southwest Game Break, Ernie Johnson, Studio A in Atlanta. Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, comes your way in just a few minutes. Charles and Kenny and Nick Van Exel will be here. Nick is going to be shooting jumpers on Kenny's court. We're going to look at the highlights of the Grizzlies and the Spurs. And Kenny will again explain exactly what he meant by saying the Laker role players were eating soup with a spoon when they should have been eating with a fork. There you go, guys.
I'm hungry already.
You always are.
Lakers by 13. They've outscored the Rockets by 12 points from behind the arc in a 13-point game.
Well, they did the same thing in game 1. So the three-point line has been, and here comes Kobe for another one. That's 7 threes now for the Lakers. They have 21 points from behind the line. But Kevin, on the year, the Rockets average a little more than 6 makes from the three-point line, a little over 17 attempts. They're now 4 of 20 in the 2 games combined. So the Lakers have taken them off that three-point line, making 2 of 9 now.
Kobe Bryant has got a game-high 36 points.
You know, when you go into a series as a coach, you say, what strength can we take away from a team? And it appears to me the Lakers have really locked in on the Rockets' three-point shooting. We're going to take that out of the equation, and they've done that.
Austin Nakbar is in the game for the Houston Rockets for the first time tonight. Malone with the no-look pass inside, looking for Kobe Bryant.
Kevin, I think this game is about, in the refrigerators, our beloved Chick Hearn would have once said.
Yep.
I sure miss him when we come in here and we don't see Chick anymore. But the Lakers starters are taken out of the game. Shaq, Karl Malone with a great hand, Kobe Bryant. You and I will be heading to Sacramento tomorrow night, game 2 of Dallas-Sacramento, and that'll be interesting to see how Dallas responds after Sacramento played great on Sunday.
Doug, if I would have told you that in this matchup of Yao and Shaq, and Yao puts in 21 and Shaq 7, would you think we'd have a 16-point game this stage of the game?
Well, if you'd have told me that Kareem Rush and Derek Fisher were going to have 21, I would have said, yeah, maybe. Because those 2 guys have been great off the bench tonight. But Kobe Bryant, I mean, 36 points, you know, moved the basketball, got to the free throw line. I mean, he was spectacular tonight. And, you know, he is such a talented player that tonight he was brilliant.
Shaq, by the way, a career playoff low, 7 points. Jimmy Jackson.
You know, which is sort of scary. If you look up, you're up 16 and Shaq had 7. You know, you got to be, if you're Jeff Van Gundy, you're saying, okay, now game 1, we held the Lakers to 33% shooting. We had 16 more points in the paint. We had 10 more rebounds. And Shaq had 1 field goal in the second half. Kobe was 1 for 11 in the 4th period. Malone had 2 baskets, Peyton none, and we lost that game. Yeah. And we lose. You got to be saying, whoa, they might just be better than us.
Well, Shaq played the last 16 minutes after picking up his 4th foul at the 9:12 mark of the 3rd quarter. But they got good performance. And, you know, we haven't seen any of Gary Payton in this 4th quarter either. And he has been talking about his lack of minutes. And that has been a very frustrating point for Gary Payton. Tonight, 30 minutes, 6 points, 7 assists.
Well, when you make the concession to come to a team to say you want to win a championship, then you have to make the concession in all the areas. And if another guy's playing well, that guy's going to be on the floor. And Gary Payton's used to being out there because he's always been your best player at this stage of his career. He's not necessarily the best player, still a very important part of this team. But on a night like tonight, Derek Fisher was terrific.
Well, we've got a lot of bench players in right now for the Lakers. They've got Luke Walton, Brian Cook, a couple of rookies. Brian Russell, who played for Doug last year in Washington, Fisher, and Kareem Rush. And Mike Wilkes is in with Mark Jackson for the Rockets. Nakbar, as we mentioned. Hangen is in, the ex-Utah Jazz player. And Jimmy Jackson. There's a foul.
You know, Kevin, just to get back to that game tomorrow night, Dallas at Sacramento, to me it's going to be very interesting. Dirk Nowitzki had a huge game, 33 points or 32 points. Only 3, though, in the 4th period. I thought the Sacramento defense was terrific when it counted in the 4th quarter. But to me, for Dallas to win, it starts with Steve Nash, to me, who makes that team go, and then Michael Finley. And I think that if he and Nash play well, I think that Dallas has a great chance to try to even that series up tomorrow night.
University of Illinois rookie Brian Cook. It's going to be a good game. We've got 2 good games tomorrow night. We will be in Sacramento right here on TNT.
We've got a great week. Then we head down to see the first playoff game ever in Memphis. Slide down to New Orleans for a game Saturday. Then to Dallas for Sacramento, Dallas on Monday. What a great time of the year.
Last time The home team won all 8 games. Game 1 was 1990. The home team so far in these playoffs 10-0. A road team has not won yet. Paget is out of Kentucky where he won a national championship. The Lakers led by 17, even though Shaq had a playoff career low 7. They led by 17. They go on to win it by 14, 98-84. And more importantly, they take a 2-0 lead over the Houston Rockets. Have 3 days to rest before heading deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, the pride of Karl Malone, he came out, had a great game tonight. Kobe was tremendous. The role players off the bench for the Lakers, and Shaq in foul trouble, and the Lakers still find a way to win. Nice effort tonight by the Lakers.
Kobe Bryant at the free throw line tonight. Cheryl Miller, 16 of 17, a game high 36. We send it to you.
It certainly was a dazzling performance, and Kobe, a much different game 2 than game 1 for you. It just seemed like you came out from the very beginning, very aggressive, and put a lot of pressure on their defense.
Yeah, I just took the initiative of the game, made sure we came out with the proper energy, put the pressure on them defensively to make some more adjustments.
It was interesting because even though Shaq did get into foul trouble, Karl Malone finds his rhythm, and you get a lot of contributions from your bench.
Well, you know, they're doing a lot of helping off the 4. A lot of trapping and trying to rotate. As a consequence, Karl has a lot of time to get some opportunities, and he made them pay tonight.
Well, one thing I have to say is in the second half, you got to describe the play where you drove baseline, got up in the air, and flipped it. I said you called it. Doug Collins said you didn't call that shot.
No, you know what? That just comes from playing basketball at an early age. You know, it's in the backyard just messing around and shooting those type of shots. But the important thing is when you get fouled, you still have to try to make the basket.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Send it back over to you guys.
You got it, Cheryl. Thank you. Doug, any final comments?
See, I love scores. Kobe wasn't thinking of getting 2 free throws. He wanted a 3-point play. We saw that like 3 times tonight. That's what scorers do. They get greedy. They want that 3-point play, but Lakers were tough tonight.
We'll see you in Sacramento tomorrow night.
It should be fun there at Arco.
Lakers 98-84 tonight over the Rockets. All the playoff drama continues tomorrow on TNT. Nets and Knicks, Kings and Mavs. Pivotal game 2. Coverage 8 Eastern. TNT is your exclusive home once again for the Western Conference Finals. For Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan saying so long. After a break, we'll take you to Atlanta. The Lakers are up 2-0 and now head to Texas for Game 3 Friday. Good night from Los Angeles.